uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
What up, it's your boy Roy Jones Jr. and right now you tuned into World Combat Sports.
You know what it is. Once again, you're tuned in to WCS. What's good? To everyone that's in the building, much appreciated. One love to you and a big salute. You already know what it is, man. To the supporters, the day ones, and those who still support the channel, each and every time I come live is much appreciated. Real talk. I don't take it for granted. You know what I'm saying? The real ones understand what the payload is like, you know, what it all encompasses. You know, in the sport of boxing, MMA, you know, BJJ, all that. So that's really where I'm at with it right now. Those of you that hit me in the DM on some positive shit, you know, about that, I appreciate you. 714 in the building. Salute to you. He said, W says salute for cooking blue blood fake news. You know, I wasn't really cooking him on fake news. It's just, you know, it's one of those deals where he had to get some hot grease, and we already know what hot grease is. It's for cooking, right? 714, you know what I'm saying? And you just got to be correct when you out here. Like I said, man, people sit up here and protect certain individuals. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not that dude. Like I'm not him. Man, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Please. I do my shit too. Have some common etiquette, have some respect, you know, for people all around that's doing the same thing. Have some respect. Man, you know what it is. You see the thumbnail, Ryan Garcia, bro. I'm gonna talk a little bit on Ryan Garcia, and then we're gonna get on the Terrence Crawford-Spence situation. You know what I'm saying? And once again, big shout out to 714 ATL, man. I see you. So Ryan Garcia, of course, when I made this video, once again, let me let y'all check it out.
Tank, I'm going to say it in front of Mike and Jeremy. If you do not take this fight, your legacy is forever tainted. Nobody will ever remember your name. Nobody. The money's there. I know you love money, but money's there. Damn. If you don't take the fight next, your whole legacy forever is tainted if you don't take the next fight with me. Oh, my
God. God damn. God damn, Tang. I ain't never heard no shit like this.
Ooh, he's capping. So, y'all pretty much understand why Ryan Garcia went on the Duck Masters Coalition. The reason being is because he say your legacy. You know, he was talking about things being tainted. And he was the one that didn't take the fight. Ryan Garcia didn't take the fight, bro. So now what we have once again is the short-term memory loss. You know what I'm saying? Like individuals are not thinking back to what he did back then. You know why they not? Because they want to coddle him because he comes off as, you know, the baby face that's goofy, young, can make the mistakes, and we can give him passes all day long. No, he has 2 kids. He's a grown man. You know what I'm saying? When I was young, when I had my first son, I was very young. I consider myself to be a grown ass man because now I had a youngin on deck. I had a seat of my own. I had to take care of it. I had to make sure he was well. His belly was full. Even when mine was empty, I looked at him and knowing that he was taken care of and good, it made me just don't think about how broke and hungry I was. You feel me? So when I look at Ryan Garcia and how he was talking about Ryan Garcia legacy be tainted, I'm saying, no, we got to remember that he tainted his own legacy. He tainted his own legacy. Let me turn you on to the game when it comes to Ryan Garcia, right? If you look at my title on YouTube, I said Ryan Garcia plays his privilege card. He's absolutely playing his privilege card. Ryan Garcia is one of those cats that really don't see what the struggle is about. He was out here making videos, having an old gooder jipper old time, making flash videos and doing all that, acting goofy, being his age. You know what I'm saying? Just doing him. That's what he was doing. He has the whatever you want to call that silver gold spoon privilege that he uses in boxing. He has the baby boy face. And he can do things that people's like, oh, that's funny. He's the Flash. I guarantee you, if any other fighter would have did what he was trying to do and they was black, it would have been a whole different story. Be like, man, what is he doing, man? He moving funny. What they got on that outfit for? Why he think he's doing that? This, that, and the other. Ron was able to get away with it because he's one of those affluent kids who he might tell you about the struggle, but it's not like the struggle Gervonta Davis has been through. It's nowhere close. Gervonta Davis has been that dude for a long time, bro. Gervonta Davis has been that guy. Now all of a sudden, Ryan Garcia is using his privilege card to first come back to the sport after doing whatever he was doing. Because I was talking about MI yesterday, and everybody becomes a freaking unqualified doctor with an opinion. You know what I'm saying? An unemployed life coach. There's more and more people using MI. I'm not saying it don't exist, but that's what you pay a team for. You know what I'm saying? I'm no way, shape, or form saying that it doesn't exist in boxing. But Ryan Garcia was on Mike Tyson podcast calling the man ugly, talking about he's so pretty. His legacy, Gervonta legacy is going to be tainted if he don't take this fight and all this. So I'm just staying true to my understanding on what Ryan Garcia is trying to be right now. Ryan Garcia is trying to attach to the culture, y'all. Because when you live up there on that upper level of affluency and people see you for that, they kind of lose connection after a while. They say, oh, okay, yeah, that's him. Okay, he got this, that, and the other. But then they start trying to tune in and say, okay, who is he fighting next? Should we take him serious? Is he really that good? Blah, blah, blah. So when you went in there against Luke Campbell and you got starched for a second, people was like, man, he's overhyped. You know what I'm saying? He's overhyped. But you got on camera, being quirky and goofy, no MI mention. To my, oh man, I seen I got knocked down. I was like, wow, dude, gee willikers, okay. Man, wow. That's what it feels like to be on the canvas, man. It's way, way different looking up at the lights when you're on your back in the ring. Remind me of the beach. Man, I thought I was at the beach, you know what I'm saying? Just laying in the oasis. That's what I'm used to, those long vacations, white sands, you know what I'm saying? Going snorkeling in the blue waters. That's what Ryan Garcia is used to. But when Luke Campbell starched him, people start to kind of say, let's see how he finish it. And then Luke Campbell end up getting finished later on in the fight. Ryan does his post-fight interview. And it's almost like people just let him get away with what happened. Like they wasn't even really trying to talk about it. I'm telling you, if that was any other fighter, man, they would really be driving the nail home. He's overrated. He's not what he say he is. All this shit, man. I'm telling you. Ryan Garcia did his post-fight interview. Want to call freaking, his best friend. They want to make it seem like that's they boys. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney didn't get no love at that time. Ryan Garcia want to skip over Devin Haney. He want to go over here and call out Gervonta Davis. He has some weird infatuation with just want to step in the ring with Gervonta. People should know by now that you can hold a stick of dynamite in your hand. But once you light it, it can take your life. It's small as hell, though. A stick of dynamite is small. Could you imagine if it was life size? Gervonta Davis is that stick of dynamite. Real talk, Ryan. And when you went on Mike Tyson podcast and you was talking all that shit, you was talking mad shit. It wasn't even cash shit. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about a jar of change. We heard you. We shake up a jar of change. You know how it rattles and shit. You was just making a little rattling sound. Your legacy would be forever tainted. You was talking mad shit, bro. You was playing your privilege cards because you can walk up there with a white shirt on and a bow tie and looking like the young, distinguished gentleman. But yet you trash talking. Now all of a sudden, people, Ryan Garcia is wearing the drip. He's walking out to the ring with the drip. He's trying to win over. I'm telling you, I speak on this because I'm telling you, I'm giving you the map. Okay, it's up to you to put the location, the coordinates in the GPS and find the destination. I'm giving you, as my boy Showtime would say, I'm trying to give you some sauce now. So Ryan Garcia is wearing the drip out. White robe, white shorts. He's wearing the drip. He needed that name to get him to the next fight. He needed the name. Somehow, some way, they tried to put the fight with Isaac Cruz as to say that he didn't want the fight because they was going to get Gervonta Davis next, right? So that fell through. So he pretty much gave Ryan Garcia a taste of his own medicine and a gold spoon. You know what I'm saying? You want to duck everybody, you want to talk this shit, we can do you the same way. And then now people are coming up with, Ryan Garcia really didn't want the fight with Isaac Cruz because he's just too tough an opponent. And he would be a dog. Isaac Cruz is every bit of a pit bull. Real talk. I got mad respect for Isaac Cruz, man, and how he goes in there and he get straight to business. Now, he's a small package in the boxing ring, and God didn't anoint him with that Gervonta Davis dynamite. That's the only thing. Isaac Cruz was blessed with that predatorial apex predator hunting ability. That's what Isaac Cruz was blessed with. Isaac Cruz is him when it comes to the hunt. Isaac Cruz is absolutely that pit bull. And believe me, I know enough of them because that's what I grew up around. And that's all I used to see down here in the South. I'm not going to get too sensitive, they might goddamn try to link me up to Michael Vick and all this other stuff. But anyway, Isaac Cruz is him. Real talk. And I like his tenaciousness and everything. And it would have been a very tough fight for Ryan Garcia because Isaac Cruz proves that he has very stable defense. His perimeter, he locks it down pretty good. But back to Ryan Garcia. He's wearing the drip out there now. He's trying to cater to the culture. And hear me out. if there's anything you do, I'm pointing you in the direction. Ryan Garcia is trying to draw in the culture. He's been acting a bit thuggish lately. Now that I look back at him betting Errol Spence and Danny Garcia, I feel that it was a bit pretentious. You know what I'm saying? Something that was premeditated. Real talk. I believe it was something that was premeditated for a reason. And I'll tell you, I kind of understand what that reason is. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give it a little bit more time. I kind of understand why he's doing what he's doing right now. But bookmark this live. Bookmark this live. All right, because the announcement is gonna be coming up. All right, nobody else has talked about this. Right, announcement is gonna be coming up. So remember, I told you I'm not gonna put nothing out there because I don't have to be first. I don't. But it's the reason why he's putting a drip out there. He's changing up his persona. He's trying to give you a little bit more of his charisma, a little bit on the dang culture, hip hop, thuggish type side or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's really trying to draw in more black fans. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to prove that he's him. He's that guy now. If he's calling out Javonte Davis, we already know what B-more is. We already know Javonte Davis. We already know what he's about. He don't have to wear no dripping shit. His mentality, where he's from, the ground floor, what he's experienced in life, man, he has nothing to prove on how he got it. Javonte got it out. As deep as the mud was, he got it out that motherfucker. Ryan Garcia, not so much. Ryan Garcia is trying to take a dip in the mud. Not so much. You know what I'm saying? Because he wear white robe, white trunks. He don't want to get that white dirty. But, you know what I'm saying? He's wearing expensive neck drip that look really good, bro. That shit look good. You know, it looks real good. It's a reason for that. Like I said, remember I told you, it's a reason for he's doing what he's doing. It's always a PR. It's always a freaking scheme. It's always something going on. So when people jump in the live chat and they want to try to correct people and they want to feel some type of way, bro, some of us can make phone calls. Some of us talk to people all the time. I just don't have to get up here and talk and drop information like I'm 411. For what? I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It does nothing for me in life. I have more important things to try to be first on this social media shit. But what I tell you, I'm not going to be a capper. I'm not going to be a fake news disbursement office. You know what I'm saying? And for anybody who's mad at me talking about fake news, well, I'm the auditor. I'm here to do an audit. If you're mad, that means you're guilty. You know what I'm saying? And if you're guilty, you need to do better. I'm not going to drop any news right now about Ryan Garcia, but it's a reason, y'all. Remember, I told you it's a reason why he's trying to cater to the other side, to the culture. It's a reason. It's a reason. Remember, that's all I'm telling you right now. It's a reason. And you're going to find out real soon. You're going to find out real soon, man. Smart on his team. You know, to try to come out like he's the coolest dude and trying, because people think my people are easy like that. You know, like when they see certain things going on that's opposite of what the way somebody's been looking. Just look at this. Let me show you what I'm talking about so you can understand where I'm going with it. I gotta play this again. I want you to take a look at his outfit, right?
Tank, I'm gonna say it in front of Mike.
You know what I'm saying? You saw a white shirt and a bow tie. That is Ryan Garcia in a cracked shell. You know, he's wearing a tuxedo shirt and a bow tie. Now he's coming in dressed with drip. He's kind of laid down like the brothers. Don't sit up here and say I'm lying and I'm fabricating shit. He's laying the shit down like the brothers. You know, you see Haney coming there dressed the way he dressed. Javante coming there. Man, I can go all the Charlos. Man, I can go across, man, all the way across the board. That's what Ryan Garcia is trying to do now. Why? Why? Because he's trying to sell himself, the new Ryan Garcia. He's trying to prove to new fan base, the 8.9 million. We all know that's artificial intelligence. I seen him on live, and he didn't even have 1,000 people tuned in, but yeah, he got 8.9 million followers. Okay, got it. But peep this out. Ryan Garcia is on record saying his fight with Gervonta Davis is going to be bigger than Canelo Alvarez, Gennady Golovkin, and the audacity to say it's going to be bigger than Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. Ryan Garcia is saying this now. Ryan Garcia is saying his fight with Gervonta Davis is going to be bigger than Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin and Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. He says it's going to be bigger. It's going to have more success. So now we have to look at how is he going to fool people into thinking that if indeed him and Gervonta Davis fight, that they should come out and see Ryan Garcia. Remember what I told you about Ryan. Ryan plays the privilege card. We're talking about a kid who was in a flash outfit, a tight flash outfit, doing reaction bag, running around making videos, showing up with the white shirt, black coat, black bow tie, black slacks, talking about somebody's legacy is going to be forever tainted. He the one that pulled out the fight. Then he goes on a hiatus after bullshitting us with Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? Goes off into, a beach, chill with his girl, whatever he was doing out there. He had to take a break from all the affluency that he was intoxicated off of and then return back to the sport. I want to thank God. Well, shit, I hear plenty of brothers thank God. What Floyd Mayweather do? First of all, I want to thank God. Floyd been doing that forever. He always thank God. What did Adrian Brown do? First of all, I want to thank God. Do you see a trend going on? It's plenty of people that thank God, right? I'm just trying to kind of tap the nail a little bit without driving it all the way in because I got to leave some out because I'm not trying to pin it to social media just yet. I'm telling you for a fact of what I know. I don't want to break hearts right now because, of course, people are going to look at WCS and say, it's no fact to it. Oh, it's fact. It's fact. You're going to find out real soon why Ryan Garcia is trying to take on this whole different persona. Watch what I tell you. And then you can come back and, you know what I'm saying? You can hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? You choose to donate to the channel. You can. It's all good. If you choose not to, it's all good too. Because I don't ask people for donations every day. For the ones who did, I know every one of them name. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you for doing that out of the kindness of your heart. Free will. You know what I'm saying? Let me get to some of these people in the chat. Let me see what the love is about in the chat, man. Flex on deck. Salute to you. Andrew Charles, what's good? WCS salute. Salute to y'all. D-Ray Promotions on deck with it. What's good, D-Ray? Sir Senior on deck. Salute. World Combat Sports. Salute to you, Sir Senior. King Mitch on deck. What's good? Queen Sombrero equals, man, I don't know what King Mitch be on sometime. Man, I don't know what you be on. You trying to screw up my algorithm or what, dog? Ryan made a lot of us proud. Real American hero comeback. Trap just be on his stuff, you know what I'm saying? And look, Trap, if I was to drop the link and have you explain that, you wouldn't do it because you don't want to come up here and explain what you're talking about. It's okay. It's okay. because you mentioned Hero the last time and everything. You keep coming on here talking about the Hero, but yet he ain't saved nobody's life. He hasn't went over the war with Lomachenko and freaking Oleksandr Usyk. He hasn't did any real world situation, but yet you in my chat talking about he's a hero. I got it. He's a hero. It would definitely sell more than Spence and Bud. Okay. Like I said before, I understand where you at with it. Your intent is to go against the grain with everything I have to say. It's okay. I babysat before. Real talk. Real talk. I babysat before. Chad Perez on deck. Salute. Holding it down once again. Salute to you for pulling up. Appreciate that, Chad. WCS the best in the business. Appreciate you. Real talk. Thank you. Now back to the thumbnail. Remember what I said, bookmark it. Ryan Garcia got some shit popping off, right? And I've been taking notice as to what the change is and everything like that. So, but it's hard to try to put it out there a little bit. Just filter it out there. Time release it. Don't dump all of it at one time, so people can because it's content, right? But it's a reason that I said what I said about him coming back and talking the way he did and all that, because the way he's acting right now, the way he was walking away from the mic, trying to act like he's hit this turning point in his life. He's much older, you know what I'm saying? Cooler dude and all this other stuff is going on. You see, he didn't really mention Gervonta Davis first. He allowed the announcer to bring in Gervonta, so he can kind of have a moment to drop the mic, so to speak. He didn't really come out like he did last time. The first time when he was in there and Devin Haney was in there and all this other stuff, that's the first thing he did. He had to hurry up and get to it. Now that he's been sitting down and they've been talking and conversing, he left Eddie Reynoso and all the shit that's been going on with him and Canelo and all that shit. And people pretty much saying he ain't taking the sport serious. You know what I'm saying? Now he's coming out with a different type of look, a different type of attitude. You can see it. He's trying to cater outside of the Latino. It's the reason why he's doing that. And I'll tell you, I will get more in depth in it. Not today, but I'm going to get more in depth in it. And all you have to do is just remember this live as to why I'm saying what I'm saying. Ryan Garcia is trying to increase his marketing ability. And one boxing demographic, he hadn't really took enough time to do that outside of the young women they used to say that was lined ringside with Ryan Garcia. Well, that goes away when you start popping kids out. You know what I'm saying? If you're still single, got a bachelor life, it's not going to stop them from, throwing panties at you. But when you start popping kids out, they probably say, I was hoping someday, the girls lost hope. The women that was lined up ringside, they lost hope. You start popping kids out, they say, we can't get him. We can't have that lavish lifestyle. I'm going to fall back. I'll watch it from home next time, girl. I'll watch it from home next time. That's how they felt. Now Ryan needs to try to win over the black fight fans. Don't get mad because I'm telling you some truth. He needs to try to win over the black fight fans, bro. He has to do it. He believes that if he fights a black fighter that is at the top of the food chain when it comes to this boxing, he needs to cater to us. He needs to. Because everybody know who Gervonta Davis for. If Gervonta Davis is a future opponent of yours and you telling us all that Gervonta Davis is going to be next and all this other shit, okay, cool. We're going to leave that right there. We're going to let it marinate. You already mentioned his name 1,000 times already. This is the next side of the next lane I want to drive in. Ryan Garcia had a fight at 140. So all of a sudden, he's attempting to speak like, well, if Tank want to fight me, come up to 140. And I said this previously on my live that, Ryan Garcia ain't calling no shots when it comes to Tank, Floyd, none of them cats. Leonard, you're not calling any shots. And if you remember, when Gervonta Davis fought Rolly Romero, all this scene shit going on with Leonard Ellaby, you don't find Leonard Ellaby having a dialogue with somebody on the front row like that. And Ryan Garcia trying to be all theatrical and get enough cameras to zoom in. He was real active that night. That's just not how Leonard move. You know what I'm saying? That's not just how he move. So, of course, he was trying to say the Golden Boy is the one that's fucking up the fight. He's going to make the shit himself, do that and the other. But my whole thing is, you're trying to say, Gervonta, you want to fight? Look, check this out. The only thing on the line really is the O's, right? Come up to 140 and fight me. For what? Unless it's for a title. Unless it's for a title other than the WBA regular. Why would Gervonta go up and give you any advantage? Why? Why would he move up to 140 when he's a small guy? You know what I'm saying? And even though he's proven himself, he can go up there and be the bigger boxer. Why would he provide Ryan Garcia with the opportunity? Because the reason why he went up to 140 the first time is for a title, Mario Barrios. If he fights you, Ryan Garcia, it'll just be for your name, bragging rights, and that oldest on your record. That's all that would be. It would be for a bit more prestige on your behalf. You're stepping in there with a guy that's been on pay-per-view, a highlight reel knockout artist. You know what I'm saying? Be more stand-up. You have very little to offer when it comes to Gervonta Davis, starlight that he's already been able to twinkle little star in front of the cameras and have the crowd in a frenzy. Gervonta Davis has already did that. You know why he did that? Because you was at his last fight when you saw Rolly Romero leaning on the goddamn second rope like it was the last call for alcohol. Give me one more shot. Yeah, I like some whiskey. Yeah, hurry up now. No ice cubes. Make it a double. Make it a double. I gotta get up. What number we on, ref? Oh shit, we on 7? Oh, I'm coming, ref. My leg is just a little twitchy. Hold up, ref. Okay, I'm good, ref. All right, ref. No, ref, don't call the fight, ref. Okay, give me the whole bottle. The ref just stopped the fight. Give me the whole bottle, goddamn it. And give me 2 Chico sticks and a goddamn side of red beans and rice. Look, Ryan Garcia had front row seats because the big dummy went up there. I'm channeling my Fred something. The big dummy, Lamont, big dummy. Ryan Garcia up there supposedly betting Errol Spence 20 stacks. A big part of me don't believe that shit. It was too set up. Like when the camera showed Errol Spence and Danny Garcia, then Ryan Garcia came into the frame. What better way to have Errol Spence and his last opponent, Danny Garcia, right? Two big names in boxing. And to all of a sudden have this lost kid come in the frame and start striking up a conversation, and all of a sudden bet $20,000 on an individual, right? An individual, Rolando Romero, who has been on record as dogging out Ryan Garcia, dogging him out, calling him all sorts of names. Like, this is not anything new for Rolando Romero. He's did it to several other fighters, but he used to show up to fights and call Ryan Garcia out, challenge him. Let's get in the ring. Let's fight. Let's do this, that, and the other. And you're going to come there and drop more than a penny on a dude who disrespected the shit out of you. And that's what I'm talking about, that privilege, man. Ryan Garcia can all of a sudden turn the page and bet $20,000 and no one says nothing. Like no one really don't see that as being strange how him and Rolly is somehow getting along. Cause look, Rolly Romero is Tiafimo's BFF. They real good friends. Now the somehow a third link has came into the equation with Ryan Garcia. You know what I'm saying? Somehow he has um established a friendship with the very guy who was trashing him in the media. Trashing him. I mean disrespectful. Trashing him, dog. And then when they showed the sparring session, right? He was trying to do him dirty. How, bro, we agree on Bud. No, you know what you on, Trap, man. Like I said before, when I drop the link, man, you want to come here and chop it up, we good. You know, it's respect, man. You be on here going against the grain for fun. You know what I'm saying? But you have to go against that link one day or another, Trap. Don't just sit up there and float around in that damn life, that inner tube in the live chat. Click the link every now and then. Let's chop up some boxing. Real talk. It ain't on no disrespectful shit. Just one of the fighters I think bring something different to boxing. You're not making any sense to me. I don't know what you mean that Brian Garcia brings shit different to boxing. Would you say that about a black fighter? Are you saying that about Chris Colbert when he took a L and he was knocked down? Are you saying he brings something different to boxing? Are you saying that about Teofimo Lopez? Because in my opinion, he brought more to boxing, in my opinion, in a short period of time than a lot of people. His dad said he was going to be champion within 15. He was. Then in 16, he unified. His dad sit up there and prognosticated all that. So I didn't ever hear you talking about Teofimo Lopez bringing something different. Because Ryan Garcia, in the amount of fights that he had, he definitely didn't do what Teo did. So please clarify. Disagreeing is one thing. Don't make me against you, bro. This is probably the only fighter we disagree on. Man, you don't show up enough, Trap. Why am I against you? Man, it's levels of maturity on this social media shit, bro. If I don't want you over here, if I was, super petty like a lot of other channels, I'll just block you, man. But you see, my people don't do that. My wrenches just don't sit up here every time you say something against what I say, they time you out. My people don't do that because it's a mature audience. It's a mature group of people over here. They don't sit up here and just time people out for GP. Tank around is just bigger than boxing. So I think that sells more. Man, stop the cap, bro. Stop the cap. They're bigger than boxing. Man, please. Come on, man. Gervonta Davis is the three-weight champion. Are we going to start doing the three-weight champions and what the quality is for somebody who's been an interim champion in one division? Are we going to go there? Because I pretty much has threw the rocks out on the water before when it comes to Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. Shout out to the OG on deck, man. Eclipse 330. What's good? What's good with this square? Now I'm glad that Ron is getting his confidence back. Man, I can't read you, Chap. I can't do this with you because you're acting like it's more to your Ron being in your good graces. I don't know what this is about. I really don't. I really don't. I'll drop the link. Just hang out for a bit. I still gotta hit some wickets. I'll drop the link so you can kind of explain to me a little bit, because I don't have that clarification, big dog. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Smoke on deck, man. Salute to you. Ron doing the Hollywood Shuffle. Yes, sir. That's all I'm trying to say without saying Hollywood Shuffle, Smoke. I just feel like he's, once again, when people feel that they need to bring in and get our attention, they kind of dip into what we've been a part of for quite some time. It doesn't have anything to do with race, because it's no key to the city, the key to the culture. It's not. It's not such a thing as a key to the culture. That's why everybody choose to just dip in whenever they feel like it. Oh, it's time for me. Hey, call up the jeweler, please. I want to make this drip. I got to get some. I got to switch it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I want to wear some baby oil out there. I want to channel my LL Cool J back in the day. I want to get the, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah. I got to start building up my fan base, man. You know how it is, man. When I walk in there, I want them to be swarming me. To my Ryan, we love you. We like your new persona. All right. And to your one fan, and WCS there, Ryan, Trap Media, he sends his salutations. Ryan got one freaking fan in this moment. Nah, I'm just joking, dog. Sophisticated wrench game these parts, man. Hey, we just had a catastrophe happen on another channel, man. The wrenches was going crazy on this person, man. That shit is crazy. Cersei say he capping again. That's all fake is gonna fake. Well, this right here, Ryan is pushing hard for a reason. Okay, the first time that he did it, he really didn't have no the correct type of gas. You know what I'm saying? To get the people's attention. You know what I'm saying? So they can see him in the way he was trying to move with it. He was just trying to think he was going to be able to perk him up a little bit, trash talk, get Javante on the phone, on hotboxing with Mike Tyson, and the setting was going to do his deal. No, it crashed and burned. It crashed and burned, bro. It didn't work. All that getting Javante on the phone, calling the man, ugly and shit like that, didn't work. It was goofy. It was tacky. And no one fell for it. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to sit here and especially call another black man ugly, right? And say, I'm pretty. It just doesn't work. You're not Ali. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have some credentials to build upon to sit up here and start, trash talking another fighter. You got to come in here with some hardware, bro. You ain't got the hardware yet. It takes more than looks. Get some hardware. Call Devin up and ask him how it feels, because that's somebody who came from the rear. He was tailing, y'all, on the last lap. Devin Haney was tailing on the last lap of the 800, dog. The last lap of the 800 meters. Devin Haney was trailing when he heard the bell. Ding, 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 final lap. Once they rung that bell for the final lap, he came from behind and ended up winning everything. And make it so bad, it was nowhere close to Oakland. So Ryan Garcia needs to call up Devin Haney and ask him how it feels. Because, salute to the Haneys. Devin ain't really been talking no shit. And he's all the way on top. You know what I'm saying? He's all the way on top. Like, it doesn't get any higher than that in one division. Ryan Garcia hasn't met that yet. He hasn't met the elevation. So now he's trying to try the economy. He tried to fly first class, but don't nobody want to hear that shit. So now he has to go through economy. Real talk. He has to try to fly economy and come up with some plans on how he's going to win us over. Now all of a sudden he's not trying to play the good boy role. He's trying to get the ice and get dripped and trying to have this different type of swagger. Look, who else is doing that right now? Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez did it with Caleb Plant. We ain't never really seen him emote on demand like that until we seen the situation. All of a sudden he didn't know what motherfucker was. He wanted to become a fighter outside in the streets. So you notice he didn't try the shit with Bivol, but he came back and brought it back to existence with Gennady Golovkin. So who else is trying to turn heel, so to speak, get a little bit LL Suave in it? That's Ryan Garcia, bro. It's a reason why he's doing this shit. You're going to find out. You're going to find out, bro. It's a reason. It ain't going to work, though. Us as black people, we just like if you have one trap, is other traps. You know what I'm saying? If you have one trap that's calling him a hero for whatever god awful reason, it's another one, and it's 5 more, 6 more out there that's feeling the same way. That's what I'm saying. He has the privilege card, y'all. Trap is a perfect example of how Ryan has the privilege card, because we want to automatically show obedience and say, oh my God, Just give him a hug. Just give him a hug. He's so young. He don't know any better. Let it be my people. 19. Fuck up. Do some shit. He know better than that. See, we ain't doing this. See, we ain't doing this right here. We ain't just play like he didn't know what he was doing. Like, you gonna blame it on 19 years old? Nah, he been doing this shit since he was 12. Nah. I don't want to hear it, man. Dude fucked up, man. Throw the book at him. Throw the book at him. Put him away. Throw the book at. Nah. Where's his parents at? Do he have a father in the home? See? There you go right there. Where's his daddy? We wouldn't get that pass, bro. We wouldn't get the pass, the fluency pass, the struggle pass. We don't get that with that privilege card. We can't use it. Y'all know I'm telling the truth, man. We can't use that privilege card, bro. Ryan don't bring shit to boxing, but prepubescent children a grade cap. Damn. I don't know what's the animosity. Arrow sells more than Tank. So I guess this trap dude is saying Ron is bigger than Bud in the sport of boxing. Okay, let's start talking. Let's switch it over because I'm kind of done and off the Ryan Garcia situation for now. But remember, just bookmark it. Fold the page back. Return later when it's relevant. But remember, I told you it's the reason why he's doing this shit. All right. So shout out to Bernie the Boxer. You know what I'm saying? He was live in living color. You know. Shout out to Team Crawford. He was on last night. And he officially dropped the news from the team's perspective. He said he talked to the champ. And he said November, you know, was the landing pad. You know what I'm saying? So coming from him, that's how official it is on this YTC. Bernie the Boxer, who is closer than you can get. He always talked about him knowing Crawford is 7 years old. You can't get any closer than that. He said the champ, he spoke to the champ, and the champ said November. Now, it's a lot of credibility that I'll take with Bernie the Boxer dropping that info. So that's why I put official release. Crawford-Spence is going down in November. That's what a team member from Crawford said. Now, don't ask me why it's not all over social media. You know what I'm saying? I don't see people giving Bernie the Boxer the credit, but they'll give Mike Coppinger. Look, Mike Coppinger will say something. They'll be so quick to say, well, Max Kellerman and Mike Coppinger said it's looking like November. Well, Bernie didn't say it was looking. Mike Coppinger said it was looking. Bernie pretty much said that I talked to the champ. Well, you listen to it. You listen to it for yourself.
They talks about everything, just trying to iron out the finer details, shall we say. You understand? And, so let's just be optimistic. The champs, like I say, said November. So go ahead and keep stashing away. Listen, worst case scenario, you got some extra. You understand? If the fight don't happen, things happen, you still got a little bankroll tucked away, and then you can do whatever you want with it. But we're going to cross our fingers and hope and pray that we get the championship.
See? He put it out there in November. He did not say it was finalized or anything like that, but they're cooking for November. So, of course, Bud being who he is, outside of the best pound-for-pound fighter in the sport, clean, drug-free, you know what I'm saying? Handing out ass whoopings. Handing out TKOs like it's a lemonade stand. I'm pretty sure when it comes down to it, he's gonna make sure he negotiate his worth. So don't say I didn't put the audio out there. You know what I'm saying? Don't say I ain't put the audio out there from Bernie the Boxer being on, because I have no problem citing. I have to cite freaking Showtime Shaw News. He spoke about it earlier today too. But Bernie the Boxer officially released November Hearing it from him this close to the camp is good, but he also led on to say that negotiations was still ongoing. Whatever area of negotiation that is, he put it out there that negotiations are still ongoing. You know what I'm saying? We did hear Mike Carpenter say they was on the 2-yard line. I think they might be a little bit further back than that. For real. They might be a little bit further back than that. But we should hear something whenever they choose to release it. But what we can say officially, that Bernie the Boxer, one of the closest team members, he damn near family to Team Crawford. He put it out there. I just let you hear the audio, and you can listen for it. You can listen to it yourself. So pretty much what I'm gonna do is let me drop his link in my chat, and in case y'all wanna pull it up later. That link is to Bernie the Boxer's freaking live that he did last night. Sir Senior say facts. Ali broke bigger fighters and won fights that people thought he was going to possibly die, and then won with little to no face damage. Ali was that guy. One thing they need to understand, Senior, is the fact that it takes more than a white robe and white trunks to become the greatest. Many have attempted to duplicate it. You know what I'm saying? Many have attempted to imitate it. It just they find out it's not that easy, especially in this time. It's not that easy to do. It's not that easy to do what Muhammad Ali was doing. He was a special individual. When it came to ring generalship, just like you said, man, he had way bigger fights. I mean, he had some memorable fights that people just thought he was outmatched, outgunned, and he was going to die in that motherfucker, Come on. George Foreman back in the day, George Foreman, people thought he can literally hit a tree and that bitch come down with his fist. Jay Ocho on deck, what's good? Bitch, what disrespect over boxing? Well, you gotta understand, that's just Mish's attitude. It ain't no disrespect. That's just, what you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Some people, every now and then, that's the energy they keep. You know what I'm saying? But let's look at it this way with Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. I'm not even worried about what Ryan Garcia is talking about with him and Gervonta being bigger. He's just trying to talk that talk because he feel like, first of all, he's feeling himself right now. He's getting mad attention. He's all over. It's little going on in boxing right now. So they're going to talk about Ryan Garcia. It's very little going on right now. Like when it comes to big fights. No one's going to talk about Anthony Joshua Alexander Usyk because without Deontay Wilder, really nothing's going on. Tyson Fury is over there doing what he does. So you can't talk about the heavyweight division, right? Not too much going on with Jamel Charlo and Tim Tszyu. Nobody really cares. Not that this is going to be a boring ass fight. No, nobody really cares to talk about it. We need some spark. Devin Haney, we know he has an appointment coming up down the road. The boxing fans has already witnessed what he did. So since it was a one-sided affair, no one's really trying to talk about it. No one's really trying to talk about that shit, bro. There's some fights out there, but no one really are thinking that, hey, Ryan Garcia fighting 140. Let's match him up with somebody at 140. No, Ryan's trying to sit up here and move to 140 for whatever reason he's trying to play around with. For whatever reason it is. He just fought earlier this year, right? Right or wrong? Did Ryan Garcia just fight earlier this year? He fought Emmanuel Targot, right? Y'all listening? Ryan Garcia fought Emmanuel Targot earlier this year. I'm just trying to figure out, like, for the life of me, why did he even fight Emmanuel Targot? What did he get from fighting Emmanuel Targo? I'm just curious. I'm trying to figure it out. Like, what did he get from fighting Emmanuel Targo? He just picked up a name that nobody cares about. Nobody cares about Emmanuel Targo. Nobody. He looked okay in that fight. It wasn't anything spectacular, and no one's talking about it. And then he comes back and fight a okay type of person, type of fight in Javier Fortuna, who I told y'all, I said the guy's a quitter. But what he did, he played his position this past weekend, and he went out. He went out. So Ron Garcia fights Emmanuel Targo at 140, right? So if you're choosing to say you can't make 135 no more, you need to start calling out people that's campaigning at 140. You know what I'm saying? Not somebody that just went up there to get a title and he's really campaigning to 135. And then you're gonna have people on here saying Gervonta should give Ryan Garcia the benefit of the doubt and entertain him at 140 instead of 135 because he deserves that. And that's untrue. Ryan Garcia don't deserve to call out Gervonta and say meet me at 140 when you said the man legacy be forever tainted if he don't take the fight the first time you ducked him. So now it's all the way up to Team Davis to see what they want to do. Because you're not going in there the A side. Enough of that shit. Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence, if it's indeed going down when they say it's going down, cool. But it's hard to even speak on it. I just wanted to put the information out there that, Bernie the Boxer released the shit last night. And I call that like the official YTC release from somebody closest to the camp. I don't give a damn about nobody's sources and all that because everybody on here was running with Mike Coppinger and Max Kellerman. You know what I'm saying? So Mike Coppinger says looking, and then you heard what Bernie the Boxer said. So he pretty much gave you the extended version and said, yeah, they still working on some things, but he said, I'll talk to the champ. Mike Coppinger didn't say he talked to the champ, but Bernie said he talked to the champ. So I'm just going to take it from there. That's me. I'm going to take it from there. That's what I'm going with. And shout out to Team Crawford over there and Bernie and all them. Yeah, we ready, bro. We ready to make this happen. Now, for those of you that has heard the news, right, that it may potentially be in November, I would hope that somehow, some way, you're able to make it and support this black fighter that black media has been speaking on so much. You know what I'm saying? We can't really say, oh, well, it's November. Why they having it in November? Why they having it in November? It's just too close to the holiday. I got to get Christmas. I got to get my. You got to show up. If you've been on here talking about this fight forever, you have to show up. You have to support it. Because I'm gonna be real with it. It's not too many people gonna be getting credentials outside of the people that they pushing over there. You already know the names. You know what I'm saying? And look, I'm good with that. I'm cool. I'm not looking. I'm not looking to have credentials on that, but it's all good. I've been up there before with no credentials. It's all good for me. You know what I'm saying? I see how I play out. But when it comes down to a fight of this magnitude, it's not like we didn't have Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury now. That was a huge ass fight. But mostly it was UK media on deck. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the heck, man? Like we got put in the dumpster. Hopefully this fight is different. Hopefully, as much media as possible is able to attend Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence on a media week. I just hope it's not one of those political things where you only bring in certain media that has these numbers that you accept, not the ones that's been out here grinding. We really want to see this fight. You know what I'm saying? That's all we want to see. We want to see this fight. It's nothing else to be said. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing else that can be said. All the bullshit, that continues to come out, believe me, I'm gonna put that shit right in the toilet whenever I feel like it. Believe me. Because as people talk shit about Crawford all the time, I can very well listen and talk shit about Spence. You're not gonna, all y'all out there are not gonna continue to just spew hatred and rhetoric and false narratives on Terrence Crawford and try to make these convoluted comparisons that don't have anything to do with boxing. Like, if you're going to make analogies and compare these two together, allow it to make sense to what you're trying to do. If you're trying to take these individuals that fought in lighter weight classes, at least compare Crawford in the weight division that he is now to an opponent that he may potentially have fought at a lighter weight division that came up to 47 to fight him. The reason why you can't do it, because it doesn't exist. That goes to all the Spencerholics, because I've heard several of them use the same shit. They bring their lover boy, Yildiz Gamboa. When Crawford was fighting at 35, they bring the lover boy, Yildiz Gamboa. When Crawford was at 35, they was in the same division and they fought. They even had the same record. You feel me? So it's lunacy to hear them when people sitting up here talking about Mikey Garcia, a decorated boxer, all that he's done and all his accolades and achievements and everything to further elevate Spence taking a fight with a lightweight. That's unacceptable. Not unacceptable for the fight. It's unacceptable that you believe that the scales are somehow unbalanced and not even close when it comes to Mikey Garcia stepping up to 47. And that's the best opponent credential-wise on his resume. Mikey Garcia, a lightweight. That's his best opponent. Sean Porter's not his best opponent. Sean Porter fought at a heavier weight in the AMs and haven't even thought about going up to junior middleweight or middleweight. He haven't even considered it. It hasn't even crossed his mind. I'm not going to try to change the world. You know what I mean? I'm not going to get a whole bunch of YouTubers so we can say, we are the world. I'm not trying to make a better place. It's impossible to make a better place on this YouTube. But when it comes down to resume comparisons, it's such garbage, man. It's garbage. It shows how deficient. And look, those of you that's leaving comments on my YouTube, if you don't have boxing content on your page, all I'm asking you to do is just be quiet. Just be quiet. That's all I want you to do. Man, shout out to Blood Boxing on Deck, man. Salute to you. Shout out to the OG himself, man, in the building. Hey, here go the link there, Trap. Please enlighten me, Trap. We want to hear Trap's hero speech of why Ryan Garcia is so special to the social media public. We just want to hear why he's so special, man. You riding hard for Ryan Garcia, and I haven't heard you ride hard for any other fighter that's actually earned it. Like, why are you riding so hard for this dude who haven't did anything? He just fought Emmanuel Tago before he stepped in there with Javier Fortuna, dog. What is all the glory for? Like, I'm just trying to figure out where you at with it. Where are you at with this, bro? You asked for the link earlier. I dropped the link. Let's go. Hey, I dropped the link in there to Bernie's Sheldon. What's good, Sheldon? What's good? I dropped the link to Bernie's live, and he mentioned early last night that, pretty much he talked to the champion. It's November. The month is November, but they still in negotiation. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, to me, that's the official news break on YTC, hearing him say it last night. You feel me? What's going on, Trap? How you feeling, bro?
What's going on, bro?
I'm chilling,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I wasn't trolling you or nothing like that. I understand where you coming from, and a lot of people with your perspective, like y'all feel like, oh, Ryan, y'all feel like that mental health stuff soft and stuff like that. But I done actually been around family members that done almost committed suicide and just really went through that. So for me, I take Ryan at his word. I don't have no reason to say he lying at this point. So if he say he was going through something, even though he was out on the beach with a female and stuff like that, I still think different people have different ways of coping with stuff and doing a different therapy. It's not just like how TV might paint it, like, oh, this person just at home locked in a room and something crazy like that. So I take him at his word, and I feel like he was coming back from that. He had to fight against Togo. It didn't look the best, but coming back against Fortuna, a solid opponent that gave Robert Easter some good work. It's not like nothing I'm knocking. I'm not saying he the best fighter in the world, but I also appreciate a fighter who understands branding himself outside of boxing, just willing to put in that work and put boxing in the face of other fan bases. Because at the end of the day, I'm all about growing the sport. So I did support Chris Colbert. I support Teofimo Lopez. So those are not fighters that I went against. So I'm consistent with my take on it. And I just think at the end, Ryan going to 140 to eventually fight Adrian Broner. I don't think it's really about Tank. I think he'll settle for Broner.
Who was selling for Broner again?
Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia, because it's still in line of what you saying. Like, he wearing the chain, he trying to appeal to the black fan base. If him and Tank can't come to agreement, I think it's enough intrigue of a possibility of him versus Broner if him and Tank can't get a fight. And he at 140, Broner been at 140. But
Do you do?
overall on Ryan's story, I just like where he coming from. I like the talking, I like the selling, I like the Jake Paul stuff, I like the Chris Colbert. I don't like fighters to just be. I'm not knocking you if you just stuck in the scope of boxing, but when you put in the sport in other people's faces, that's something that I appreciate. So that's where I'm coming from with the Ryan support, and I just feel like him coming back from the stuff with the mental health, and these is two solid fights, and I respect Fortuna, and I like what he did against Robert Easter. Now I understand he not exactly that same fighter, but I still think this is a good matchup coming off an injury, coming off layoff and surgery and all that, everything he was going through. So I give him his respect. I'm not saying it's the greatest thing in the world, but it's something I do respect.
But let me say this, bro. You can support who you want, but I never said his MI was soft. That's not even my language. I never even place that relation in the same narrative. Never. I never say that about mental illness. Never. Mental health, whatever you want to call it. I never put that in that. All I said was how he was acting and his behavior and everything before time, and certain things that might have been going on, which came out in the wash. Now it came out in the wash that he was having issues, over there in with Eddie Reynoso and whatever was going on behind the scenes. You have to understand, you had Canelo and Oscar Valdez over there, so he might have been feeling some type of way about not getting the attention that he needed or whatever. But I wasn't up here saying that I don't I don't take it serious or it's soft. And then when you talk about people that you experience,
Yeah,
and we know there's
I wasn't saying you. I
check
was
this out,
meaning
Trap.
a
Hold up,
generation.
bro.
I wasn't saying you,
Hold
bro.
up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let me get it off because I ain't interrupt you, man. So pretty much when you're saying you have relatives and people that committed suicide and everything, I mean attempted, right? I understand that, and I'm not gonna go against the grain and say you bullshitting. But the way I see what's going on now, I'm looking at Adrian Broner. And I hear you talking about how Ryan Garcia is a hero. And the reason why I'm calling, the bullshit flag of him being a hero, because, Adrian Broner's been out here going through what he's been going through. And I ain't really seen the support for people, coming to his aid, and jumping in the chat and say, hey, he gonna make it up out of that shit. He gonna be all right. He's strong. You know what I'm saying? AB will be cool. They just think AB out there clowning. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear you talk about Ryan Garcia, like that shit is mandatory, like that's priority. This dude is living good. Ryan Garcia is living good outside of boxing. He's making commercials with athletic superstars, Damian Lillard. You know what I'm saying? He's over there making a documentary movie. He's living well. But Adrian Broner, he's going through his stuff, and boxing. You haven't really seen people just out here outside of Mike Stafford and all the people that's in Cincinnati. I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about this YTC community. Most of the time, it's negative information, and I don't know why Adrian Broner wouldn't be on your radar to provide that genuine support because he's been going through it, bro. That's all I'm saying. What type of hero shit has Ryan Garcia did? Could you explain that? What hero shit, bro? I don't get it.
Yeah, I just think him not quitting. I just think him not quitting totally, coming back, being persistent. He could have fought somebody we never heard of, but he's taking a fight like Javier Fortuna. So I support Broner as well. But this is something
Shit,
that
we damn near didn't know Emmanuel Tago. Who knew
look,
Emmanuel Tago?
I mean, we knew Tago. We knew Tago to
Hell
a certain
no.
extent. He wasn't
We
totally
as
like.
in you and somebody's pet Toto.
Hell no, nobody fucking heard no Tago. What the hell? That dude fought exclusively in Africa. None of his fights were televised. How the hell
it was a sparring or something that people knew.
No, it was not, bro.
It was a sparring.
No, bro. They brought that dude up to be a soft touch for Ryan. Come on, man.
It's a solid fight, man. Tago a solid fighter, but I would say overall, this is something I always talk about. It's not like I'm just doing this with Ryan. When I interviewed Alantez Fox, we spoke about mental health and how his father going against the grain and how that affected him. When I talked to Albert Bell, same thing. So this not just something I'm inconsistent with. I'm consistently supporting fighters and athletes that's going through mental health situations.
With it in my live chat, though. That's all I'm saying, Trap. Like, you consistent with supporting Ryan Garcia and bigging him up when you're over here.
I like Ryan, man. He got that young energy that I think the sport. Is it bad to bring more eyes to boxing overall?
I don't think that's no, of course not. But the issue is, can you also criticize him when they do psyops on fans? Do we always have to, like, when he's full of shit, talk about how he overcame mental health? Like,
what? But who am I to say that he's lying about that? I don't know that.
Who said I said full of shit? I didn't say he was lying. He's just full of shit. Like, the idea that Tank Davis is going to come up to 140 pounds is full of shit.
Well, I wouldn't go there because Tank fought Barrios at 140 pounds. So it's a possibility.
Right. So the idea that you're chasing someone, but you tell them to come up to your weight class, that's not full of shit. The idea that he said he's already going to fight Tank, but already jerked the fuck. Like, how many times do you just go? Like, when do you think he's full of shit? Like, what would he have to do for you to be like, yeah, Ryan's full of shit?
If Tank agrees.
No, I'm asking you, what would Ryan have to do for you to say that Ryan is full of shit?
Yeah, I'm saying at this moment, if Tank agrees, like, yeah, man, I'll fight you at 140. I fought Barrios at 40. We all heard when Tank said he'll give the A side to Ryan. He don't care about that. If Tank agrees, say he'll fight him at 140, and then Ryan be like, you know what? I'm going to do something else. If he does that at that point, then I'll be like, man, that's wrong, Ryan. You hyped all this up. You did the marketing like WCS says with the chain. You trying to appeal to the black fan base. You said 140 is where you comfortable at. You said you feeling better than ever at 140. Your mental state, you said, is better. So at this point, I'm looking at Ryan as functionable to what he's dealing with. So if Tank agreed and Ryan was on some, you know what, I changed my mind. Then at that point, then I'd be like, damn, that's not a good move for boxing, Ryan. I understand the building up, but at some point you got to stick to the build up.
All right. So what if Tank just reiterates the fact he said he doesn't feel comfortable at 140 pounds. He's not going to 140 pounds. He competes at 135. What if Tank just reiterates that? Is that enough to say, Ryan, you're full of shit? Since Tank's already said this?
I wouldn't say that because I heard Tank say that he would give the A side to Ryan. So that means that he, like, from how I take it, not this 100% sure that's what that means, but he's willing to accommodate Ryan to make him feel comfortable because I think he understands that this could be a big financial fight. And at the end of the day, that's what the money team is about.
What?
So hold on a second. You mean that you don't think a guy is full of shit if a guy says, I don't want to fight at 140 pounds. I fought at 140 pounds. I didn't feel comfortable there. I competed at 135. So then you go up to 140 pounds and you say, I do feel comfortable fighting here. You need to come up here to fight me. Like, you don't think that that's full of shit?
No, because I think at some point they would meet. Because at some point I see Tank going to 140. We see all
No,
these
but,
guys.
Right,
but look,
I got
check
it.
it out.
But what does that have to do with Ryan? Just because you see Tank going to 140, like Ryan, like if you go by what these guys are saying, how are they not full of shit? How do you go to like, well, I just think Ryan, like, why do we get to your determination of where you think Ryan Tank is going to go to past what Tank has already said about where he's going to go to?
Yeah, but he also said he would give Ryan the A side, so that would be a
Right, but
part of an A side decision.
how did that supersede the fact he says he's not fighting at 140 pounds?
Well, we just wouldn't get the fight right now. Then I wouldn't think he fought. Now, if he fought Fortuna at 35, did he fight Fortuna at 35?
No, he fought him at 40
He fought him for
because
140.
they
He
gave
said,
him
Yeah,
short
exactly. He
notice
said he's
anyway.
going to fight at 140. Everything is saying that he's going to compete at
No,
140
yeah,
pounds from here on out. At this
yeah.
point, he hasn't even fought a 140 pounder, but they're talking about how he's this a super feather like phenom. But okay, let's just go past all that shit. What I'm saying to you is, since the dude has already fucking ducked, since he's already pulled the bait and switch with Tank before, like, why are you still talking about how like now his word is solid and we need to pull Tank up? Like, that's not bullshit.
We just gonna have to wait and see. We're gonna
Why?
have to wait and see.
I'm just saying, like,
I'm not gonna make up
what-
nothing for him. This is what I'm saying. I'm not gonna make up nothing for him. I'm just taking him at his word at this point. He went through what he went through. He back right now. He said 140. I think he thinks 140 will be an advantage for him because he's
all right,
got the height and stuff like that. So I think if he would take it at any weight, it would be 140 because he feel he has some advantage.
Right. Okay. So just so I can understand, and we can move on from this one point. And I got another question for you when it comes to this thing. Are you saying that you thought the bait and switch he pulled with Tank at 135 pounds was because he was going through mental health issues? Is that that's what you think? Is that why you're giving him a pass and you're still like thinking his word holds some sort of weight or value?
I think with the trainer switch, getting the attention that he needs all the way around, I think he's just in a more comfortable space. He's at a healthy weight that he feels is best for him. I'm just gonna go off the man today. The pass happened. Was he wrong
right.
was he wrong for the pass? I'll give you that. He was wrong for the pass.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just wondering, like, why you're giving him a pass for the past. Yeah. I was just wondering, like, what rationale you had for just like overlooking it and then coming to a thing. All right,
but I'm saying,
let me chime in right quick, Smoke. Let me chime in right quick.
Yeah, he's a new situation.
And the reason why the reason why the pass is important because he wasn't mentioning anything about mental health back then. He was just going out here clowning around. He was just talking trash and all this other stuff, and then all of a sudden he has to pull out because he know damn well he wasn't getting that fight. You know what I'm saying? Leonard Ellaby has been on record as saying that Ryan Garcia was full of it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can vouch for him. Then he says he's gonna have a fight with Manny Pacquiao. That shit never. De La Hoya was on record as saying, "Man, it was never no fight gonna happen with Ryan Garcia." So when does it come down to a point where he's young, goofy, and he might be extremely stupid? You never know because stupid people lie a lot. And he felt that this shit was passing him by because be honest, Trap, the lightweight division passed Ryan by. All the shit that was going on with T.O. Kambosos, you know what I'm saying? Then Devin Haney and then Lomachenko, falling out of the equation and Devin stepping in. Lil Ryan Garcia was left behind, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not denying the fact that you may be solid on mental health issues. I don't know what your employment is, your occupation. You might be around that field and you have much more of a closer relationship with it. But one thing I never do outside of myself is try to diagnose somebody else on the level of they shit. But just like Smoke was saying, you got to call him out on his bullshit. When he was up here being goofy, talking that shit and trying to make it seem like he really wanted Javante and all that, ducking Devin Haney. He pretty much said Team Haney can talk to his attorneys. He ain't activating no damn mandatory shit. And then he pulled out from Javante, and then he brung up some Manny Pacquiao. Man, come on, he got to be held accountable for that, dog.
Yeah, I agree. I did the first ever pound for pound duck list. I put this was maybe a year or two ago, something like that. I put Ryan Garcia on the list, so it's not like I'm not going to say anything wrong about him. But do you guys not give him respect for the Luke Campbell fight?
Do I give him respect?
I give him actually respect for the Fortuna fight, the Luke Campbell fight. Not so much the to-go fight, but a little bit, kind of.
Mhm.
But I don't think he's a 140 pounder. So that was the next thing I was going to ask. Was just kind of, I don't mean to segue if you guys want to keep on the subject. But I was like, so if this guy is now a super featherweight, like who is he supposed to beat for a title? Do you think he beat Josh Taylor or Ramirez or Rougarou or Zepeda? Like who the fuck is this dude supposed? I think at 140, the 140 pounds got killers. Subriel Matias, Antoine. Yeah, man, you got guys out there cracking for real. That's like, how many is that? 7 people? 6 people? He called out Tito, but like that just sounds like it sounds like the same shit he was doing at 135.
Now, how many fights did Boots have until he fought a name?
He
Are you a
damn near
Boots?
had his whole resume up to Sergey Lipinets.
Yeah, but Boots is in his first weight class. Boots did not leave his division without capturing a title.
No,
and then move up to 154. Like if I was to ask you who do I think Boots can beat at 154 pounds, if you had asked me that, then I could say I think he beats Tim Tszyu. I think he beats Fortuna. I think he beats Castano. I don't think he beats Charlo. I think him and Tony Harrison would be a hell of a fight.
You mean Fundora?
Yeah, Fundora, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying
I know Fortuna looked fat as hell in that fight, but he ain't
Fundora, yeah, the praying mantis.
But I'm saying Ryan's at 23 fights now. I think it took Boots like 27 fights or something until he started fighting notable names. Like nobody gave him this type of smoke that they trying to give Ryan Garcia. Like Ryan Garcia's
I understand that part. You want to give him his respect, but that has nothing to do with what I'm asking you. I'm asking you, who do you think he can beat at 140 pounds?
No, my point was I don't feel like he has to rush like that. Like the first name I mentioned when I came on here, I think a realistic fight the Golden Boy would be willing to make. They could do if they wanted to do a test of pay-per-view or something. I think him and Broner. I think you got a black fan base. I think it will hype Broner fans up. Will get hype, and they will feel like, oh, Broner with Ryan Garcia and a lot of Ryan Garcia. No, at 40.
At 47, Trav? There's no way
No.
At 140 pounds, he's saying Ryan Garcia.
Yeah. I know, but there's no way Broner's making 40, bro.
All right, so at this point, so you don't think Ryan? How many fights do you think Ryan will have before he competes for a title, or do you think that this is just prize fighting and we should put him in the same vein as like a Tank Davis or like a Logan Paul or whatever, that Jake Paul kind of thing? Like he's just in it for the bag and a spectacle for fights that he should be favored to win.
I don't rush him. Like if Ryan was your fighter, be honest, you're not gonna rush him against a Rougarou or a Josh. You're gonna try to let him get a little bit more comfortable, a bit of resistance, but not too much. Somewhat like Fortuna, you're gonna try to stay in that vein. He might fight Pedraza next. He might fight Pedraza. Somebody like you're not gonna go too far up and get your cash cow beat. And he said he's not trying to be in the sport a long time. He already told everybody that. I'm not against prize fight. I like Jake Paul too.
He said 26 years old, but
if
Ryan Garcia is running his mouth and calling out all these names, what does a resume and what does pacing him have to do with him just running his mouth and putting himself in that equation? He's putting himself in there with these names like Gervonta and everything. Right. But if you're gonna say, okay, I want Gervonta, but all of a sudden you want to move up to 140, it doesn't make any sense when Gervonta has already declared that he want to campaign at 135. He made it perfectly clear. Why go back up to 140 and you're not fighting for one of those Josh Taylor belts? It makes no sense. Yeah. Like I agree with him fighting somebody else, but Adrian Broner, let's be honest. I know he's you here in fight camp right now. I don't think he's coming back down to 140 for anybody. You know what I'm saying? Anybody, bro.
I thought he had said he 147 was too big for him, and he was more comfortable at 40 or a catch weight in between 40 and 47.
What is he fighting Omar Figueroa at? What rankings is Omar Figueroa in? Like What are they fighting this next fight at? It's 47, right?
Hold on, let me look it up. Adrian Broner.
Omar Figueroa is a welterweight.
I mean, what was Broner last fight at? We not gonna just do that. Like, what was his last fight at?
I can almost guarantee you he didn't
No,
fight Santiago.
I think it's over the 140-pound limit.
Yeah, it was. But that's what I said. He said the catch weight or 140. He said
I
47
don't
was
think
too
it's far.
big.
The last 140 fight I can remember Broner doing was Mikey Garcia.
Hold on,
Because he
let me
fought
pull it.
Pacquiao after that at 147.
And he did a catch weight, I want to say, a few times, like 144 or 143, something like that.
But it's definitely not 140 though. That's the whole point.
Hold
That's the
on,
point I'm trying to make.
It's also, like, how are you gonna you gonna fight Broner coming off of a loss from Omar Figueroa? I'm assuming he's gonna lose to Omar Figueroa. I'm assuming that. But if he can get like a draw maybe from Figueroa, I guess. But Adrian Broner, I think, makes more than Ryan Garcia. Like,
hold on, I'm trying to pull up where is this fight at. Hold on, give me a second. I'm pulling up Box Rec. Hold on.
One thing about Broner, he doesn't have back-to-back losses, but the majority draw with Jesse Vargas. We all know that was a bunch of nonsense, but
that was a while ago.
he's coming.
That's like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm saying, like, he fought Giovanni Santiago and had a UD, and that was at 145. So I mean, I don't even know why he's in the conversation to step in the ring with somebody like Ryan Garcia. And just to give you a little bit more background of Boots on why it took him so long, he was going through some shit with Victory Promotion, Boxing Promotion, Chris Menendorf, and he was going through some legal shit that kind of clipped his wings a little bit. And they had to, wait their time out. In the process, he really couldn't take any big fights because they was trying to spread their wings. So they had to wait. And he was with a manager, this certain manager, whatever, that was pretty much moving him like a turtle. So he went through a stale period in his career where you see him not fighting anybody. Now you see him fighting names that make sense. And yeah, Boots is what, 29-0 right now? Yeah. His biggest opponent is a former champion at 140 pounds, Sergey Lipinets. We definitely can't give no credence to freaking Thomas Delorme coming off back-to-back losses. So the only big name on Boots' resume, in my opinion, I don't even want to talk about Cusio Clayton. I don't want to talk about that shit, dog. It just seems like Cusio Clayton and Javier Fortuna was online chatting. Oh, we're gonna do the same thing. I mean, I just didn't see anything different. But Sergey Lipinets, legitimate. You know what I'm saying? He lost his title to Mikey Garcia, but he was legit, even though he moved up.
So to me, man, I'm not just real fast, and because I wanted to address the whole thing about like the Logan Paul like culture of boxing. I think that there's a tent for prize fighting and prize fighters. What I sort of rankle at is the way that they try to manipulate the public, like they're in it for tradition and legacy, when they really don't care about that, right? So, or they're
That's not fair, bro.
No, hold on a second. No, it is fair because I'm not talking about necessarily Ryan. I'm talking about an entire class of fighter. Like Dylan White, I feel like falls into that category. I feel like Tank Davis falls into the category. Like it's not just about Ryan. I'm just saying prize fighters, guys who are really just not about that. Hey, let me let me become undisputed in a division so that my name can ring out amongst the greats. They're not worried about that kind of. That's not what motivates them. What motivates them is the bag. They feel like that, and if you're that thing, I feel like you should just should support them in that effort because ultimately they're still getting punched in the face for a living, and it's still like some entertaining bouts, and you can start to separate. And I feel like Tank is a lot more. I feel like he's a lot more upfront, even though I feel like he's full of shit in the media. Also, he's at least a lot more upfront with the idea of he doesn't really give a fuck about the big fights. He don't even care, like, who they put in front of him. Just as long as the money's right, he's coming out to knock you out.
But see, I think that's a bit unfair. I think this narrative that Tank hasn't fought him. Like, I don't really like that. I like the Leo fight. I like the Pedraza fight. I like the Barrios fight. I like the Pit Bulls fight. And even if you learn about a fighter after they fight, so I was just watching the older guy. He was saying he was locked up, and that's when Roy Jones and Tarver fight, and he didn't know who Tarver was before. But that doesn't take credit from somebody just because that's just when
So
you learned of them.
who said Tank didn't fight anybody? Hasn't fought anybody?
No, I'm saying that's a big narrative that goes
No,
around.
I'm saying I'm talking about moving forward. Like Pedraza fight was how many years ago? That's like that's a half a decade ago. Like,
yeah,
Tank
I mentioned Barrios. I mentioned Barrios and Pitbull as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, that was a fall through because some bullshit, because the Rolly fight fell through. Like, they weren't supposed to be fighting Isaac Cruz. But that's the difference. Whatever, they fought him. He climbed between the ropes. Isaac Cruz is a good fighter. But the point I'm making is not who they smash him up with, more so about what the mentality of the fighter is. If you're motivated by being a prize fighter, I feel like you shouldn't get the kind of disrespect that people get in boxing, as long as you're upfront about it. But if you go around talking about how you're trying to make this fight, like what you're saying to me, like we were like like Ryan Garcia was feeding us Pacquiao, Tank Davis, and Devin Haney, and gave us Emmanuel to go. Right now, he's selling us Tank, and you're selling us Adrian Broner, who's in a fight right now is supposed to lose, right? Or Pedraza. Like, if he's going to be fighting those kinds of things, just say that thing. Like, don't like yank my chain over and over again. And like, I'm supposed to give you the benefit of the doubt because I don't know, you're dealing with stuff, or the way you deal with stuff, you have trouble coping or managing the pressures of life. Like, I don't, what is it? Like, for me, just be real about it.
The only thing I say, people attack Ryan for constantly talking, and for me, it's promoting, and he understands marketing and how to manipulate the internet. But the same people that, and I'm not saying anybody on this panel, I'm just saying the narrative. I hear a lot of people attack Ryan for this, but they will attack Bud and say, well, he doesn't talk enough. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't do any interviews, or he didn't do this early on. And it's like, what do you guys want? Do you want somebody promoting themselves and doing the WWE stuff and working towards something? We understand it's building. We've seen this. They'll build, and then you get WrestleMania. It's the same type of concept that a lot of these guys who understand how to manipulate the internet, Jake Paul, Ryan Garcia, they're doing the same stuff. So you keep your name attached to somebody big, and we understand what happens at the end. So they're just using the old formula that has worked. Now, is it good for the diehard boxing fan? No. But does it help grow your brand? Does it keep you talked about, keep you in the media? This is prize fighting. This is not the amateurs. It's all about the dollar bill. Has this got him a Gatorade commercial? Yes, it's working. So Ryan Garcia has a formula that a lot of people haven't figured out yet, and that's why they don't have a Gatorade commercial. So
his formula didn't get him a Gatorade commercial, Trap. It's just that he's in Hollywood right now, and his people, are pretty much trying to, they trying to get him transferred over into the Hollywood scene. He did a documentary recently, and with that Hollywood connection with his people, the further get his name out there in Hollywood, he did a commercial with Damian Lillard. Now, what does that commercial do for Ryan in boxing? Hardly anybody is talking about it, Trap. Hardly anybody is talking about that commercial. And that's a solid drop. That's a solid drop. You know why they ain't talking about it? Because you don't see more boxers, in that realm of Ryan Garcia. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cats believe he has that privilege to be a part of something like that. And he's jumping the line and all that. Hey, I say to each his own. If he's able to go in there and get on the silver screen and make that money and further his career outside of boxing, I totally agree with it. But nobody's talking about his commercial with Damian Lillard, man. Come on, who's a bigger name there, Trap? Damian or Ryan Garcia? Who's a bigger name?
It's both big names. I mean, basketball is more popular than boxing, so more people.
But who's a bigger name though?
It's hard because more people know basketball than boxing. So if I just go ask,
it sounds like it's not hard. It's just hard for you to say it's Damian Lillard. Like, come on, bro. You don't have to give a whole big explanation. It's Damian Lillard. You just explain why.
It's Damian Lillard, bro. Period. Point blank. Period. Damian is a bigger name than Ryan Garcia any day of the week.
Yeah, but I mean, we love basketball in America, so that's not like nothing I'm gonna knock Ryan over.
We love boxing in America too, bro.
Yeah, but they love
Not to the same
basketball
extent.
in Spain. They love basketball. Like basketball is a global sport. Also, the reason why they know David Lillard is also because he was on the Olympic team.
Yeah, but I mean, basketball is like the fastest growing sport in America. Like,
Yeah, I mean that's why it's not so hard to say. I don't understand why it's just like David Lillard. It's really damn easy to say. Like, bro, it's not that deep. Like Ryan Garcia can be Ryan Garcia. He's an okay fighter. I think he's really good, but when it just comes to we need to just separate like prize fighters from guys who are fighting for what we describe as like legacy. The history and the tradition of the sport, like getting belts and defending titles and all that other stuff, and be amongst the greatest. Like, it's cool, but like, I mean, why sugarcoat it?
But see, I don't discount. See, and then the other big thing, I take into account a whole generation. So I'm not gonna judge a millennial by the generation before, or generation X or Z, whatever they Ryan and them are, by the millennials. So I see that a lot of them they got similar habits. So John Morant doing an interview recently with Taylor Rooks, he says he'll cook Michael Jordan. Most people view that as crazy, just like they view Ryan calling all these names as crazy. But this is what their generation seems to do. This is how they manipulate the internet. So I don't want to be the generation older than them, like, oh, them young guys just this and that.
Who's Ryan Marnett? I don't know who that is.
No, John Morant.
Who's that? Is he like college? Is he pro?
No, yeah, he's like one of the most popular point guards in the league. John Morant.
Right. So he's in the league. So he's in the league talking to another guy in the league. So that's like a champion talking to another champion in boxing parlance.
No.
He was talking shit on what he'll do to
Michael Jordan.
The MJ.
Yeah, I'm saying, but these are two guys. He's talking about it. He's talking about a legend. That's like Bud Crawford saying he's an ATG. Right, like he's in the league.
No.
He's ATG in boxing. You know,
no, it's not. No, it's not that. It's not that. It's like Bud Crawford saying he would knock out Roy Jones. Like, we can't see that fight.
Right. I got that. Like, but Ryan is not doing that though.
No, but I'm saying a lot of people consider that in the same vein in the basketball world, the same thing. Like, it's like, what are you talking about? Like most people don't think he can beat Tank. Most people don't think that he can beat Devin.
But he's not in their division. He talked all that shit and then skedaddled. But that's cool. And whatever, for whatever reason, his mind wasn't right, his business wasn't right, his corner wasn't right. But what was right, apparently, was him popping off at the mouth at the media. But for some reason, I'm supposed to now, because he got all of that stuff, erase it and forget that he was popping off at the media. But that's a side point. Again, the only point I was making is it's not about millennials, because there's guys who are like Bam Rodriguez is his same age. He's not on that type of time. Devin Haney is his same age, and he's not on that type of time. Dave Morrell is his same age, and he's not on that type of time. It's not a generational thing. It's a him thing. And it's not just him. There's some other guys, but, Dylan White is not a millennial at all, and he's on that time.
They Gen Z, but I'm saying you can't judge.
Gen Z, that's what I mean. He's a millennial, not a Gen Z. Like,
I think he's Gen Z because he's 23. But
no, I'm talking about Dylan White. Is like 30.
Dylan White. Oh yeah.
Dylan White is a millennial, not a Gen Z.
But I would say,
and he's still on the same time. It's not a generational thing.
Yeah. I would say Devin is a standout. So I wouldn't take the cream of the crop and say that's the.
No, he just has the best. He just has the best resume. He's not a standout in the mentality.
I do think he is. I think he's a bit more bold than a lot of the other young guys. He's actually
more bold than Dave Morrell. More bold than Bam Rodriguez.
David Morrell's talking, but I want to see action behind the words.
Right. Again, I'm talking about the mentality. I'm talking about the mentality behind it. Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
right now.
Yeah, like he's not talking about like, oh yeah, let me fight Canelo, while like, well, anyway, he's in different space.
Broner next fight say a super light against Figueroa. On Box, right?
So you're saying his next fight gonna be at 140?
Yeah, that's what it say on Box, right? Super light.
I like to see how he makes that weight. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on, Sir Scene? How you feel, bro?
I'm good, bro. What's up with you?
I'm good. I'm good, man.
What's going on? What's going on?
What's up with you? Salute the brothers, man. Y'all
Just chopping
cooking.
it up.
Um, man, let me get online, Ryan, real quick, man. I give no respect to
Yeah, I feel like
somebody
Duke
who
is
did it.
yeah. Go ahead.
Like I give no respect to somebody who did it. Like he's gonna have to show me a whole lot before I take him serious. Like I watch his lives, and even in his lives, he shows you that he's more about being famous than anything he wants to be famous for. He just wants he's pretty much a I'm trying to think a good representation, but he just want to be famous. Like he don't even really want to be good at anything. He just want to be good enough so he can get fame from it. And that's a bad mentality. He talks about, having mental illness. Like I thought that was weird that, because sometimes a lot of men, young men, people in general, it could be females that go through mental illness. But his cure for mental illness was going on a boat with a bunch of females. Like I thought hoes give you mental illness. I mean, that's what I thought. I mean, can somebody correct me if I'm wrong? Respectfully.
And everybody heaven is different, So for you, you might like staying in the house, drinking water, and playing 2K, and that might help be your therapy. For somebody else, they might want to go run and hop on a bike. For somebody else, they might need to go on a vacation with a bunch of females and release that way. So I just think it's a little bit different for everybody else. TV and movies have given us a cutter version of it, but everybody got different ways of dealing with different stuff like that. So I wouldn't just write it off just because he was out with some females on the beach.
I mean, all of it together, and I don't see how chilling with females on a boat and on the beach helps you get ready for a fight. It gets you back in the mindset, ready for a fight. And then he goes through all these things of making these big dramatic claims and say that, like he said with Javante Davis, it's going to be a stain on your legacy forever if you don't fight me. And then he runs the other way. Like I've dealt with those type of people in my life where, like, they loud, as Jay-Z said, they loud as a motorbike, but wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight. Like, you can't say that you want to be the best and then call out the best. And then when you get a chance to even get close to the fight, you run the other way every time. That shows that you're all talk. So I need to see some actions. Yes, he did just knock out dude in 6 rounds. He did what he was supposed to do. I mean, but who can't knock somebody out off the couch? Like, dude was breathing hard by the second round. Like, I rewatched it like twice. So, yeah, he was breathing hard by the second round. If you fighting somebody off the couch and you said you've been training for the last few months, even past your normal training amount, you should beat this person easy. So I don't see how, like, he hasn't changed anything in his defense. He hasn't changed anything in his offense. He still punches wild, looping, with his chin out like he's a giraffe or something. Like, I don't understand, like, how is he getting better? He's saying he's getting better, but better at what? Better at capping? I mean, I guess he's getting better at that. Respectfully.
So you give him no respect for that fight? Like you, for Tunis just a bum in your book wasn't even worth fighting. I mean,
No,
do
I'm
you?
not saying he won't worth fighting. I'm saying that I give him credit for the fight. I give him credit for the win, but I don't see that as him getting better. I don't see that
Yeah,
even making his resume. I
yeah,
mean, maybe it makes it better because he just skipped out of 2 fights, so that does make his resume a little better. But honestly, as I look at a fighter and I want them to keep their same level of skill or performance or get better, especially when you're that young. He's not a 30, almost 40-year-old fighter. he ain't been in the game so many years in the professional and got all these belts and will change divisions or beat all the top people in his weight class. He's done none of this, but he talks like he's done all of it. Like he says, he wants to fight Canelo and Manny Pacquiao and stuff like this. Pretty much he wants to fight these people who are really retired and may come back for 1 or 2 fights, or people who should be retired soon. That's who he want to fight, some old man, just because he want to get clout. I don't respect that. Now, if you're trying to fight the young lions and you want to beat the big old lion, that's something different. But for you to just want to beat up an old man to get, he got a name, so I'm gonna beat up an old man. And no, I don't respect that, man. I don't respect it.
Come on, bro. We heard.
Here's really the issue. What's really the issue is Fortuna was a 126-pound champion. He was involved in a controversial fight for 135-pound champion like 4 or 5 years ago, and they're fighting a guy, and they had him at 140 because the fight was taken on short notice. Then he couldn't make 135 pounds. Like, how much credit, given all of those things being facts, are you supposed to give the guy? Like I've said, I'm not trying to knock my man's hustle at all. Outside of the fact, and stop trying to sell me a bill of goods. Stop with the bait and switch. It's a really cheap con for seasoned and sophisticated boxing fans. Like, just do you, bro. Like Devin Haney told him. Like we see through this act. Like, we can see through you, bro. Just be yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say he was just chasing old guys or try to discount Pacquiao, because Pacquiao would have been a bigger guy for him. So I wouldn't knock that. We seen Pacquiao whoop on Keith Thurman ass late in his career. We seen Earl Spence chasing Pacquiao. We've seen Bud Crawford chasing Pacquiao. So to now make it a bad thing when Ryan Garcia is chasing them, and to now act like we don't understand the politics, and like, these guys are on other sides of the street. So the same way we could get an excuse. Well, the only reason Spence Crawford ain't fight because of the politics. So we could say the same thing with Ryan. So these guys were chasing Pacquiao too. So it's not like Ryan was just the only one. In his case, he was daring to be great, trying to fight the bigger guy.
No,
But see, hold up for a second.
Stop that. He wasn't daring to be great when he made up a fight that was never even really talked about. He just came up with that, and he made up his own. Like, he made up his own picture for the fight. He made that up himself. He just made it up. There was no negotiation. He just said, that's like me saying, "Oh, well, I'm gonna fight EJ. Y'all look out for me fighting EJ, man. I'm about to fight EJ."
I mean,
EJ don't even know who I am.
So it's not. I'm just amazed that you went for the Pacquiao analogy. Like, everybody was trying to fight Fortuna. Like, like Pacquiao was coming off of a win streak and had at least the world title. That was like that Thurman fight was that mandated, like, world title versus super title. I don't think that Fortuna was mandated at all. Pacquiao was a champion when they were trying to make the Spence and Bud fight. Fortuna, he was a champion at 126 pounds. Way back in the day, bro. Like, I'm not quite sure why you would elect to mention Pacquiao in the Fortuna thing just because of age. Like, there's a lot of old fighters that aren't Manny Pacquiao.
But Fortuna is, let's break this down. He's 33 years old, right? He was on the couch.
Why are you saying couch? Where did that come from? What do you mean he was on the couch? He just fought.
He was on the couch right before the fight.
He just fought. He just fought in February.
Yeah, Fortuna had a fight early this year, man.
Yes, he had a fight earlier this year. How did he look in that fight?
Yeah, he said the reason why it was at 140 pounds was because they had a really short camp. It was a late notice fight for him. He didn't know he was going to be fighting. As you said, he already fought. You could tell that the guy was not in shape. Like, I don't know why we're trying to pretend like there's something else. It's not like Fortuna has ever fought at 140 pounds. It's not like Ryan Garcia's last fight wasn't at 140 pounds. Like, come on, man.
And to Senior's defense, I would say, you know, him being on the couch, regardless he had a fight, I would consider him that because he fought in Santo Domingo and he fought a soft touch, 32-14. He went in there and knocked the guy out in the first round. So really,
Yes.
you know, from July 2021 to take a soft touch, that wasn't anything that he trained for. Man, come on, man. You know, like you
Yeah,
really talking
exactly.
about
He
him
had to
coming.
lose weight. He couldn't even lose the weight.
You really talking about him coming from July last year all the way to fight now without even really buckling down in a fight camp. He took this shit on short notice. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. I think the Pacquiao analogy was a bit insipid to me because, you know, when you talk about guys that's in the division with Pacquiao calling him out, but yet you have a guy at 35, 2 divisions lower, calling out Pacquiao. It doesn't make any sense. And then you say you was gonna fight him at a catch weight, which, you know, they said that fight was never happening because it was never something that was in conversation. It was never in conversation, man.
But
So he was capping once again,
didn't
and
the
that's
WBA strip
that's what
Pacquiao?
Ryan Garcia loves to do, cap.
Didn't WBA strip Pacquiao because of those talks? I remember that happened around the same time.
They stripped him because of his hiatus, even though they put him in recess. He didn't meet the policy guidelines to be in recess, first of all. So when Errol Spence name start coming back up to fight him, you know, we thought he was going to get reinstated, but they didn't reinstate him. So he came down with the eye injury, Errol, and then, you know, Yordenis Ugas at the time was able to you know, fight Manny Pacquiao and defend the title.
Yeah, but around that same time, Pacquiao had the belt right then. But those talks got so loud that in that same news week, the WBA stripped him. And it was like, oh, you know, it's like they was a little bit worried about that fight happening and getting fed up.
Oh,
So
hell no, bro. Hell no, they weren't worried about shit. How they gonna worry about that fight happening? How do you think Golden Boy is gonna have any influence over Al Heyman? How's that possible, bro? How in the hell? Who was scared? First of all, that Manny Pacquiao was gonna end up fighting Ryan. Who? I'm just curious. Like,
no, not scared. I'm saying that they felt it was some legitimacy to the fight, and they was getting fed up, and it seemed like that talk kind of pressure the fans getting. Oh no, he don't need to be fighting him. He got a business at 147, and then I remember around that news week, that's when he got stripped. You know, it
man,
happened at the same time.
Golden Boy said the fight was never even in talks at all. So, you know, regardless of optimism, it was never something that was going to materialize because they had bigger dealings with Errol Spence picking up that WBA strap. There's no way that he was going to fight. There's no way that Ryan Pacquiao was going to fight any. The whole objective was for Errol Spence to get that WBA title. That was the entire objective, and he got it. They was going to make sure he ended up fighting for that title, and that's what happened. Nobody wasn't worrying about, you
But I'm
know,
saying,
Ryan Garcia, you know, talking shit.
did it hurt Ryan attaching his name to Pacquiao, or would you consider it good marketing?
Yeah, it hurt because they say they talk about how any exposure is good exposure, right? But in this case, the damage that Ryan Garcia had already done was not fight Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? Had a history of not wanting to fight Javier Fortuna, and then he calls out Gervonta Davis. All of that was a wash. It went out the window, and now you get online and you say, well, you know what? I'm not going to be fighting Gervonta Davis, but I have something bigger in the works. And then you come out and act like it was going to be Manny Pacquiao, and it was never going to be Manny Pacquiao to catch weight. You know what I'm saying? And what was at stake fighting Manny Pacquiao at the catch weight? What was at stake? You know what I'm saying? We don't need to go into the rules and see, you know, can a title fight be fought at the catch weight in this particular instance? And what benefit would it be for Ryan Garcia to fight Manny Pacquiao for a title when Errol Spence is the entire objective to make this undisputed? It don't make any sense, bro. Errol Spence was the objective. They was gonna make sure he get in the lane to fight for that WBA title. It took him a little bit longer from the eye injury, but he ended up doing it anyway.
For me, man, like from just a marketing standpoint, like you're supposed to under promise and over deliver, right? Like you're not supposed to over promise and under deliver. Like whether or not you fought Pacquiao or not, you didn't fight Tank and you gave us to go. Like that's the end of the day. Like you could say Pacquiao fell through, but your plan B was so far from Pacquiao. I mean, to suggest that anybody knew who Emmanuel Tugo was when he was a regional African fighter, like I don't even know where to begin with that one. Like the dude fought one guy in America who was like an American regional guy. Like no way where people had their eye on Tugo. Anyway, it's just like I'm not trying to knock the young man hustle because I like him out there getting it on his buck. I like his transparency if he's being sincere with his issues. But I'm not even here to praise or vilify him for that thing. Like he's just talking about at least he's bringing some kind of awareness to it so people can talk about it more. But to me, it's more like let's just call prize fighters and understand the bullshit when we see the bullshit. Like we see Oscar De La Hoya talking about how he wants to make the fight, but demanding that he's the only one that can make the fight. Like whatever. I don't know when Tank was supposed to have said that he'll let Ryan be the A side, but I'm fairly sure it wasn't recent.
I can't even fathom, the way Mayweather runs things over there, and being the Tank is somewhat still attached. How would they even act like they was this is not Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather. Let's get that straight. It is not a point in time that Tank has to take a back seat to establish himself with Ryan Garcia. No, it's not even close, man. It's not even close to say he's going to take a back seat to Ryan and let him be the A side for what? I mean, isn't Tank the one doing pay-per-view?
Why did Tank say?
No sense.
But why would Tank say something like that?
When did Tank say that?
Y'all don't remember that?
No.
That was a long time ago, Trap. That was a long time ago now.
I'm saying I don't even remember. When was it?
I can't remember exactly. WCS know what I'm talking about. I know we're not.
I know what you're talking about, but it was quite a while ago, man.
Yeah.
Was it about a sparring session? Because I remember they were supposed to fight for some money on a sparring session.
I want to say
that was like some years ago. Was it in that context?
It's about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
And it's hard for you to even think to take Tank serious by saying something like that. You know
his coach said he's never heard Tank call out anybody outside of Devin Haney.
No, he said this. I wouldn't have I like Tank. I'm not a Tank hater. See, this is what I'm saying. I'm not a typical mode like, oh, I like this fighter, but I like Tank is one of my favorite fighters, and Ryan is one of my favorite fighters. Tank, I was shocked when Tank said the shit. I let Ryan be the A side. So it's not like I'm trying to knock Tank or something. I'm just saying this is what Tank said. So
and maybe it wasn't a call out. Maybe it was but in what context? I really don't know the quote. It would be great.
It was kind of it was kind of more in just a
very strange soundbite to be like, I'll let him have the A side, as if Tank could even had that power 2 years ago.
It's kind of let's do whatever to get this guy in the ring because I know I'm gonna knock him out. Like he can have the A side. I don't care nothing about it. I think he said that right after. I don't care nothing about that. I just want to get him in the ring. It was around that Mike Tyson stuff. That's what I want to say. So I'm not sure how long ago with that. I can pull it up, but I'm just saying everything Ryan has done to this point. Gatorade is not just picking up anybody, especially not in boxing. You have to bring some type of algorithm to the table that makes sense for them too. So a lot of this stuff that people view as crazy has kept his name in the algorithm, kept him in the talks. He's attached himself to Christianity. He's a Christian. He has a lot of people that feel him on the mental health. He has a lot of people from his culture that feel him, and his brand is just big. The social media world, YouTube, attaching himself to the Jake Paul, all that, constantly selling himself. He's selling. And I think it's just hard if you don't just look at what that generation does, that's just how they're winning these days. I can't, we got senators twerking for attention these days. So that's just what's going on. It's a new world, and I'm adjusting to it. I'm not saying it's totally right, but I understand that these kids are winning doing this stuff. So who am I to knock it?
I look
You
at
a
it.
grown man. That's who you are to knock it. We
Yeah,
gotta
I
stand
mean,
for something. We
yeah, I
gotta,
mean
because
that's
that's
all.
how we
I'm just
fall
talking
for
about call it for
everything.
what it is. Like I'm not saying judge it as good or bad. I'm saying support him the same way you're saying support him. I'm just saying stop stop treating me like I'm a fucking idiot and stop trying to pit fans against each other and lying to us, like blatantly lying to us, and we're supposed to act like this shit ain't true. Like it's cool you can make your fucking money, but you're not brainwashing me. Like I don't understand like why that would even be a need for you to do. But I mean, whatever. That's your time. That's you. That's the way you hustle. Cool. Miss me with that shit.
Do you think everybody is not like prize fighting to a certain extent? Like in Devin case, he has a little bit more room to do what he's doing because he's not as big as these guys. He's not Ryan Garcia. He's not Tank Davis. So it's easy for him to say, "Oh, I'll take whatever to get this, and that," because you're not these guys. So I think it's easy to say when you coming from a certain level and when somebody else talking from a Gatorade sponsor level. It's different.
Well,
Well,
that's a
if you're
different. That's a
saying that,
different thing. That's a different thing than prize fighting, bro. Like that.
No,
So first off, one of the reasons why Devin's able to do it, I don't mean to cut you off, but you know what? Sorry, I apologize. Keep going, bro.
no, but it Spence Bud prize fighting. Let me ask you that, because if it's just about the love of the sport, then, well, forget the money. That's
So
just fighting.
right. So
Everybody
again,
is prize fighting. That's my point. Everybody is
again,
prize fighting.
right. So, again, there's people if they were prize fighting, then they would just be fighting for a prize, and it wouldn't be for undisputed. What Ryan is talking about is just fighting for a prize. That's the difference. Like if you were going to be the thing that all you care about is the prize, then let that shit go. Right now, even though Floyd talks about that, all he cares about is the prize. What Tank actually has is a title that has mandatories, and they counted as defenses. The reason why they say fucking Triple G past Bernard Hopkins is because of that same belt that Tank has. So he can keep defending that stuff and wind up in the Hall of Fame, like Triple G. He's already ahead of him in terms of like actually holding real recognized titles, and at a similar age, kind of thing. Like Triple G didn't become a real champ till he was like in his early mid-30s, kind of stuff. But all that being said, Tank and his team have all said, like almost to a person, that they're in it to make this dude a pay-per-view star. They've been very vocal about it. When they talked about fights like Lomachenko, they're like, what does he bring to the table? When they talked about fights like Josh Taylor, they said, what does he bring to the table? That's a different kind of thing. It's a different tone that comes out of their camp than what we're getting from Ryan Garcia. And like I said, like you said, however these dudes need to make a living in order to, an honest buck, I'm not mad at them. But some practices, when you're making that honest buck, are dishonest in my view. And I don't support the bait and switch con jobs. Like I don't like that shit. Like just tell me what the fuck is up so I can, like right now, I can appreciate Tank and also say squarely they're interested in making this dude into a prize fighter more than they're interested in like his Hall of Fame run, even though he probably will end up in the Hall of Fame.
Let me ask
I
you.
would say that if
Hey,
you a
Trap, hold
liar,
on for a second. Trap. I want to say this too, right? When it comes to Christianity, like I understand what you're saying, and I'm not sitting up here trying to debunk everything you say. Real talk. I mean, you feel the way you do. I'm not here to pretty much try to find every type of retort for it. But Ryan Garcia was the same guy that was talking about he was about to take off on this other white guy that had pissed him off because he was saying some things about him online. And this was Gervonta Davis and Rolly Romero fight. He was in there after losing 20,000. He was up here, issuing, saying threats in front of the camera like he was about to go fight a guy that was over there. Look it up. It's on video post fight. So when you say a guy's all about Christianity and everything like that, I mean, come on, that's a huge gray area because a lot of fighters want to thank God for making it out the ring because it's a dangerous sport. But Ryan Garcia was just the one out there, threatening this guy, talking about, yeah, hey, I'm gonna take off on you. He's trying his best to get into the culture now, dog. And the cameras following him around. He's about to act like he's about to fight this other guy over something he said on social media. And you want to talk about Christianity? Yeah, we all sinners, but let's not make Ryan Garcia the new evangelist because he's attaching mental health with Christianity. He want to thank God and all strength through the holy name, the most high is why I'm still here. No, man, I understand he got his ways right now. He's going through his younger years, but the dude was just out there trying to fight at Javante Davidson and freaking Rolling fight. Look it up, man. It's out there.
Yeah. In regards to that, I think Ryan's searching right now, and I'm not gonna doubt his Christianity. Not saying you doubting it either, but everybody falls short. You're not gonna be perfect. Something he can repent for, and go talk to his whoever he view as his spiritual advisor and stuff like that. So he's not gonna be.
Trap, you work for Golden Boy?
No,
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 for real. Trap. You work for Golden Boy, dog.
Look,
I mean, do you have a sports? I mean, a voice, disguise or something, man? Is this Oscar for real, dog?
look, WCS. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these guys are not trying to stand for something positive. They could be out, and I'm saying a certain lifestyle is not positive. I'm just saying we hear the knocks like, oh, why this fighter out there, hurting his body, drinking and smoking and partying. We're not really hearing those stories with Ryan. He's trying to champion something that's viewed in a positive light to a lot of people, from the Bible Belt or all over the United States, one of the biggest religions, Christianity. So he's giving thanks to God, and he seems to be trying to go down the right path. Is he
I mean,
gonna get it all
Devin
right?
does the same thing.
Give him
Devin does the
support,
same thing. He's low key. He doesn't drink or smoke. He's in the gym.
and that's
I
good.
gotta tell you something, man. I'm in California, right? I'm California boxing. We had, Andre SOG Ward. I'm right out of Oakland. Like for him to be like, yeah, I'm Christian. He's trying to play the Christian angle with with what the hell he's got going on in his life. Like, nah, it's not gonna play. Like, it might play as far as like a talking point on a panel, but like, no.
I mean, we seen guys like I respect Ward. Ward carried it properly. He wouldn't come out of his character. He said he's not gonna do the foolishness to sell himself, and he stayed in that pocket, even making it a nickname. Sean Porter, another guy, deep in the faith. I think for a long time wouldn't even curse up until he had his new podcast. So I'm just saying, being so young, I think it's still room for a lot of these young guys to grow. So I don't just want to jump on them, for making one
I'm not
mistake and
trying
try
to.
to
That's
push
why,
them.
That's
you're
not
trying to
one
give him. You're
mistake.
trying to
You
give
keep
him.
constantly lying, man. You can't
Yeah,
say
that's what
that
I'm saying. Like,
constantly
you
lying
can't.
is
Right.
one mistake.
Yeah,
Like,
and then
you lie
playing
every time a
Christianity.
camera get in front of you. You lie, and you make up some foolishness, and you start some imaginary beef. That's not one
Yeah,
mistake. That's a
it's like,
pattern.
bro, it's like you have people, and in religion, a lot of people are like these snake oil salesmen, man. They'll sell you like prayer rugs and anointed oils and all this other stuff. And yeah, they'll be quoting scripture the whole time. They're like lifting you, separating you from your cash. And it's just kind of like all this stuff is just disingenuous and like more than a little bit slimy. I can't even believe we're talking about this stuff for real. Like, we're talking about a prize fighter and like trying to rep Christianity, right? Like, for real, dude.
It's a spirit. Are we knocking Tyson Fury for when he come to the ring with his rosary and stuff like that?
That don't have nothing to do with God. That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. He a king. He says he's a king and he's a Spartan. Spartans
but he comes through as like Christian, but he comes through as like crusade style, like Christian warrior kind of stuff. Like,
yes,
that's the type of time he's on.
Kill
like,
people in Jesus' name. I'm gonna kill you in Jesus' name and take your money. That's not a real Christian. Respectfully.
I mean, whatever it is, I'm just saying the type of stuff that Ryan Garcia is on some televangelist shit. I'm not even talking about this type of time Tyson Fury's on. That's some different stuff, and that's some European thing. That's like they're just apples and like they have their own cultures, and Christianity is even a wider tent. And I'm not trying to necessarily knock the televangelist hustle with their prayer rugs or whatever, but actually I am trying to knock that because I feel like they're trying to fleece people and like take advantage of the desperate. So yeah, if Ryan's on that type of time, that also is not heroic in my view. That is like That is the worst kind of con artist, kind of dirtbag.
So how do you feel about Devin when him and Bill constantly, Allah Akbar, all praises be to Allah? Is that the same thing, or you giving Devin that?
I feel like right.
I never
So
seen him
like
eating a
like
bacon
Andre
sandwich,
Ward,
though.
like Andre Ward, I feel like he lived what he preached. He practiced what he preached.
Yeah, I never seen.
I feel like Devin Haney is
the
doing the same
Haney's
thing.
Eating a bacon sandwich, doing that though. Like they never did something.
Yeah,
like
you
they
see
might
them
argue or whatever else, in the sport of boxing, but you don't see them blatantly doing things against what they say their religion is, and then use it just to get clout from religious people. Like he's showing you, Ryan Garcia is showing you from, you say infancy, and he's in his infancy or toddler levels of the sport. In his young part of the sport, he's showing you he's willing to do any and everything just to get the clout. It does not matter what it is. Today he's saying, "What's up, Jesus?" Next day he's boxing in his drawers. The next day he's hugging dudes. The next day he's hugging women. I mean,
and the next day he's making $20,000 bets, and then
exactly and stupid bets at that, and try to talk his way out of it. And then get mad when he's called out for doing this stupid stuff. That's
anyway.
One thing is crazy. Like there's a lot of people who do a lot of bad stuff, young or old, in boxing or in general. But you don't see Tank Davis coming up there saying, "I had the right to slap that girl."
So
have you ever heard Tank Davis say that? Or he said, "I got some anger issues. I need to do better."
So I mean, let's just be honest. Let's call the elephant in the room. Being Muslim in America is not like some marketing boost. You don't get like extra point. That's not a big fan base. As a matter of fact, it might be negatively viewed from a marketing aspect. It might be a tough suck. That is not like a mainstream American.
It used to be, but now it's the fastest growing religion in America, and all of the rappers now associate themselves with Islam. So it's now become like a pop culture thing with Lil Durk being Muslim, Kevin Gates being Muslim.
Kevin Gates and Lil Durk are not mainstream artists at all.
Moneybagg, yes, they are.
No, they're not. Like literally, they are. First off, these guys. Okay, so when I talk about the mainstream, when I say they have crafted the mainstream culture, what I am speaking to is the fact that if you were to look at the top 10 news items over the past week, they won't be mentioned anywhere. Right?
You said Billboard?
No, I said news items like CNN, Fox, any of the broadcast, like any of the major broadcast television, like even like our Netflix, like any of the main things where people are consuming media. None of those names will be mentioned. None of those topics will be even few of the subgenre that they belong to won't even be fucking mentioned. Like you're talking about some counterculture shit. I'm talking about in mainstream American zeitgeist today, being Muslim is not cool. If every black person was a Muslim in America, that would be like 13% of the population.
Right, but Devin is appealing to the black boxing fan.
Yeah, what I'm saying to you is that is a limiting factor for his overall marketability in America. He is an American fighter. Do you think that what religion do you think is more popular in America? Christianity or Islam?
Right now it's Christianity, but Islam got more to youth right now.
Okay, so how many of the youth with the youth that are embracing Islam, what percentage do you think they are of the overall youth in America? Like 2%, less than 2%? Like
no, I'm saying Christianity is, if you go look at the numbers right now.
I'm just trying to tell you that's just not fucking popular.
No, you missed what I'm saying. Not in the way that you mean. You missed what I'm saying.
The way that you're presenting.
They are losing people as far as the youth, and Islam is gaining people as far as the youth in America. Go look up the numbers, so that means the future is Islam, just like it is in a bunch of other countries.
That is a projection based on a very small subset of a rising number. Like I said, like if it goes from 0.1% of the population to 1% of the population, that's 1,000% jump. Of course, that's a gigantic jump, but it's still a very small segment of the overall population. So it still stands to reason that if you were trying to market yourself today, not in 30 years or 50 years, where this would be a reality, that you would stand more of a chance calling yourself a Christian, right? It would be more, you'd get more sympathy doing that than you would say that than you'd get from being a Muslim. Outside of like some rappers and some people in the like whatever urban culture.
Yeah. This was 20 years ago. I would agree with you, but in
No,
today's
I'm talking
time,
about today, 2022.
no, most of the youth don't believe in no religion, bro.
I don't know what you mean. Like most of the youth don't even watch boxing. Like this is a really weird comparison that you like. I don't even know.
It's niche, but I'm saying if they gonna get into anything, it's gonna be more Islam than Christianity based on the stats.
Again, you keep talking about this population that he's not marketing to.
He is marketing to the black.
How is he marketing? Okay, so how is he marketing to the youth? Please tell me how this guy is marketing to the youth.
He's wearing gold. He's wearing the gold chains. He's always on the shade room. These are all young. You know, everything that he's doing is hip hop. He's always around the rappers. So Devin is appealing to that young hip hop culture that Tank.
Okay, so what's Tracy Morgan appealing to when he wears the same thing and has been since before Devin Haney was born?
He's trying to be cool to some young bitches.
No, he's not. This is urban culture. This is urban culture. It's not a youth culture. This is just this. And again, even within this whole subgenre that I'm talking about, most of those things, if you look at the numbers of people who, if they identify as a religion, they're going to be overwhelmingly Christian. I don't even understand what this is whole thing. Like, it's just spinning into like a really weird direction.
We ain't gotta keep going here, but we disagree on that. We disagree.
It's just empirical data, bro. I'm just saying, like your extrapolations. I
don't think
it doesn't hold weight for how you market yourself today in 2022.
Yeah, I don't know almost any young Christians. Like,
right, but that's anecdotal. Like, how many young people do you know? Like, if there's like, let's say, like 30 million youth in America, like, how many of them do you feel like you know?
Yeah,
and then also, as an extrapolation, how many youth that you know even watch boxing?
A lot more of them getting into it because of Jake Paul. A lot more.
Yeah, right. Okay.
We definitely need to change this subject if you're thinking more people get into boxing because of Jake Paul.
Yeah, Blueface doing a fight now. A bunch of people who would never step in.
Blueface been boxing. Blueface been boxing.
Bosco doing fights now.
Bosco's been doing it. He was down here. Look, check this out. It's certain things, you know, like I run these streets too in boxing. You know, Bosco been down here and fought on cards already.
Right.
He definitely didn't get no freaking motivation.
But that came after Jake Paul.
No, not after Jake Paul, because actually he was on the same card as a Jake Paul when Jake Paul barely had any fights on his damn resume. He was on the same fight card as Ben Askren and Jake Paul. Bosco was down here in the A. He fought somebody on the undercard. It wasn't televised, but he did.
Yeah, he fought a dude from 60s that died.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, people can say what they want. I mean, if they cool with the Jake Paul, he got money and all that, cool. But as far as him motivating people to get into boxing, Jake Paul is able to move as he is because him and his brother was able to be born with a silver spoon from his parents, and they did very well on social media when the Vines was active. So being that they made an extensive amount of money and they had an entire support system, starting with their parents, they was able to grow and have that money behind them. So where they at right now is no shocker. The only one that's doing anything is Jake Paul right now, not so much Logan. Logan is 0-1. He's not doing shit in boxing. You know what I'm saying? The only thing he was able to do is face Floyd Mayweather in the exhibition.
I mean, that's a pinnacle. That's a dream that everybody wish they had.
But Floyd is an opportunist.
Floyd in an exhibition? No, that is not what everyone's dreams.
Hold up, Smoke. Floyd is an opportunist when it comes to money. He's gonna get the bag. You know what I'm saying? That's what he does. That's why he's at the top of some of the biggest grossing fights ever in boxing, because that's what he does. But that fight with Logan Paul didn't do anything for Floyd Mayweather's career. Nothing. Zero. It's an exhibition fight, and it's around the same lines as the Tenshin Nashikawa fight. And then Floyd's about to go over to Japan and fight another MMA guy. You know what I'm saying? And then they talk about putting in works for him and Conor to fight in a rematch. That's just what he does, man. I don't see too many people being motivated off Jake Paul, though. I mean, I know a lot of people want to be invited to the party, and they have some live ass parties. I get it, but He's definitely not influencing nobody
I
in
guess.
boxing to become boxers, though.
I mean, to hear it from, I guess he's influencing a whole bunch of young Muslims though to watch boxing.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, we ain't gonna agree on everything, and that's all right. We agree to disagree on this.
I think with you, Trap, one thing I will say, your exterior is pretty damn tough because I don't think you feel any different than the first second you stepped on the panel until now. I think you still have your same mindset, bro.
I mean, I understand everybody's perspective and I respect it. I think that's needed in boxing. You need a bunch of different views and perspectives, and you know that's how you got diehard fan bases this way and diehard fan bases that way. And when you bring them in one room, you get super fights. So I think it's a good thing for the sport, as long as everybody can dialogue respectfully. I think that's needed in boxing. I think that's often what's missing, where you have a room where everybody just thinks alike and it becomes a cult. And if anybody comes in a room and say something different, they get blocked, banned, or can't talk. But I think
Well, you know that does happen in the YTC, and the YTC hasn't been responsible for making any big fights as of yet. But what you just mentioned goes on more times than not. That a dialogue cannot be had like this. You know what I'm saying? Where people up here just having a damn sensible dialogue without cussing each other out. Now, who's to say, you jump on somebody else's live tomorrow or tonight, it won't be, because we have separation that's here on YouTube. Yeah, it might be all about boxing orientation, but it's a lot of disparity when it comes to this social media platform. Everybody has their own way of thinking, and that's just the way it's always gonna be, man. Um, I wish it would be a bit more unity so people outside of YouTube can take us more serious. That would be great. But there's no unity here because everybody's trying to think they're going to create and do something different than the next. You know what I'm saying? And they want to be the next Jake Paul and Logan Paul to make all this money on YouTube. But I'm telling you, it's not that easy.
Speaking of which, at the Jake Paul and Hasim Rahman Jr. Press conference, my guy Maestro, and there's another YouTuber also who does like panels and stuff that was asking, that part of the press row, part of the scrum, ask a question. It's kind of cool.
I mean, it's good. What I like about Jake Paul, he's showing that he's smart and building up his promotion. He signed a female. I think she's his first fighter and whatever. So signed Amanda Serrano. He's actually getting traction with people like Eddie Hearns. So he's making smart moves in boxing because everybody can eat off boxing now. That's the crazy part about this sport. It has entry points everywhere. But in order for you to promote, you got to have some pockets. You have to. You have to have some pockets. And shout out to Jake Paul for allowing Hasim Rahman to grace the square with him, but they was former sparring partners. I'm very I'm just saying I wouldn't say a logical thinker on this shit because it doesn't require that. I'm just looking at these fighters who create certain matchups. I want there to be no history. I want to be no history. Like him facing a boxer, a legitimate boxer. I don't want them to ever have sparred. I don't want him to know shit about it. You know what I'm saying? Then when I hear Hasim Rothman was a former sparring partner and all that, regardless of him saying he fought with one hand, I'd rather Jake Paul have somebody that's detached, that he don't have any history with in the ring. They never sparred, and they never did anything, and that person is a legitimate fighter, is well respected out here. I'm not saying Hasim Rothman isn't. I'm just saying they have a history, they sparred, or whatever the case. But it should be interesting, man. And just to speak on Javier Fortuna, I don't have no respect for that fight. Javier Fortuna did exactly what I thought he was going to do. Lay down like a fresh set of bed sheets. He laid down. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about somebody who just went the distance with Emmanuel Tago. Tago, man, come on. He made it to the distance. Goddamn, Javier Fortuna, time he was hit with the left hook to the body, chin in the air, he goes down and take a knee just like Luke Campbell.
I guess Scotty had to step away for a second. I'm still here.
No, I ain't going nowhere. I just stopped talking. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I ain't going nowhere. I was just saying, like I stopped talking, but
Oh,
I didn't see
okay.
the. Yeah, but it is what it is.
I agree with you with the to go, but it's also that was like kind of a style of make fights thing. I knew to go had better feet than Ryan, and if he didn't want to engage, Ryan wasn't going to be able to catch him because he has terrible footwork and can't cut the ring off. But whereas Fortuna, he requires you to fight on the inside. He wants you to get you have to assist in your own destruction fighting him. But yeah, I thought Ryan would keep him at the end of his shots. But I mean, really, dude, like what are we watching for real? Like, respect the fight. I don't know. I respect Golden Boy's excellent matchmaking that gave us the Canelo Alvarez ATG, right? Those guys are really good at matchmaking over there. The only time that they got overruled through like Canelo wanting to just get his own way was that Lara fight. And you see how they never went back to that again. He just went along with their matchmaking. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, respect it. I don't know how you can. But liking Ryan Garcia, sure. I don't know why, I don't think he's a bad kid or anything like that. It's just kind of like, if you're looking for like, a guy who's trying to build his legacy in the traditional way, then you're looking for love in the wrong place.
He has people around him that believe in him. I'm not totally against him. I'm just saying that people don't forget, and we shouldn't forget. I just see more boxers getting this therapeutic waiver to do things that other fighters are excoriated for a lengthy amount of time. And it just seems like he can do and say whatever he want to do, and people really don't even talk about it. But when it comes to a more popular fighter, especially a black fighter that might have a name, they tell me, oh man, so and so just throwing everything away. They ain't taking the sport serious. They ain't doing this and that. Man, they don't even go near as hard on Ryan Garcia for doing some shit like that. He can lie to their face and they'll still take it light on him. It's all good. It's not anything personal.
I guess maybe it's generational. I don't know. Yeah, I can tell my kids are, they're more Tank fans, but they're a little bit over his stick too. Rolly sold that fight for him.
Rolly sold what fight?
The Tank fight.
I mean, did he really?
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, like I'm saying, I was like literally not tripping off that fight. I wasn't gonna. Yeah. I was gonna watch it later on, and then my kids were like, they watched the press conference. They're like, yeah, let's watch this one. I wanted to, nice, cool little Saturday night with the kids, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think Rolly didn't, he did poorly in the presser, but his interview with Brian Custer was great. I think off camera, when Rolly actually talks his shit, he does much better. I'm not off camera, but off press conference. Not the press conference. At the press conference, he don't do very well. When all the damn lenses on him, the lights are shining. He's not that guy. But when he's in the comfort of his own home, chilling, relaxing, I guess it's a different sense of security for him. And he come up with some good shit. He had me laughing. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, he was saying some shit that was absolutely funny. But now he's embracing it. And he's doing anything and everything to get attention. He want to call out Spence. And we all know that's not a fight that, I mean, I made light of it on my live because Spence has already fought a lightweight. But let's be realistic. The fight isn't going to happen. And neither is Spence is going to entertain that, especially after he loses to freaking Terrence Crawford. That smoke.
He's not, I think win, lose, or draw, Spence is moving up.
I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. I look, I might be absolutely wrong. It's just something's telling me like, I don't know. I'm hearing that it may be more than one fight for this matchup, and they ain't letting nobody in on shit. Like it may be a rematch clause in this fight, both ways. You know what I'm saying? They might be trying to get 2 fights out of this, regardless of who win. So if Crawford wins, a rematch. If Errol wins, a rematch. It might be more than 2 fights, man.
So you mean all of this back and forth buildup has broke the algorithm, and now it's profitable to do it twice? Or
I'm telling you, man.
It seems like they have the business. All right, well, whatever.
I'm not saying something officially.
I'm not mad at it. Like, I'm just saying the idea of fighting somebody else. Like, he's going to keep competing at 147 after the Terrence Crawford fight or fights.
Yeah. I try to tell people that I don't think Errol Spence is moving up to 47. Moving up to 54. But you also have to look at what's going on at 54 too. The belts, depending on he defends them. Jamel Charlo doesn't seem like he's in a hurry to move out of the division anyway. So I'm saying I think he can beat Tim Tszyu. So he beats Tim Tszyu. What's next? Will we get one of these big names from 47, like a Spencer Crawford, to get an automatic title defense against Mel Charlo? That'd be another money bag for Jamel Charlo.
He's got 2 Mandos waiting in queue. He's got the IBF guy and the WBO guy.
Yeah, I mean, he can have the Mandos, but we all know when you're defending those straps, undisputed, you can give step aside money, and if it's a bigger fight that's gonna make that change. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, we know that he'll fight a Mando, no doubt, but I'm just saying, like, who cares about that?
Yeah.
The IBF, we know the IBF are one of the stricter mandates. You know, exactly. We know that for a fact.
Exactly. That's he already got the money fighting Tim Tszyu, and then he got the Mando. Like, I mean, assuming all right. So I'm also hearing, like, this is just the water cooler rumor mill. You probably have better sources than I on this matter, but they're talking about a multi-fight deal with PBC, including the Charlo, which would include the Charlo fight. And if that's the case, then I would see why he'd like maybe stick around for that, assuming that Crawford wins.
Yeah, man, they're trying to make as much money as possible. They just would not let it out. Like, even the people I'm talking to that's closely related, they don't want to let nothing out on what's going on. No. But then I talk to somebody else that's close to PBC, and they're telling me there's possibility. You know what I'm saying? I don't really want to put anything out there concrete, because I straight up vilify people putting out fake news. But allegedly, what they're attempting to do is a multiple fight at 147. I'm not sure, but that's what that's what I'm hearing. And there's nothing wrong with it. I wouldn't mind having a rematch, but I just think it dies out. I just think all we need is one. They're both older fighters. Give us one, and whichever one of y'all, you can go up and fight Jamel Charlo. I mean, I don't think, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think Spence is going to fight Charlo. And then I don't know. I don't think we're saying the same different things also when it comes to the multi-fight deal. I think it could be both a 2-way rematch at 147 and a third fight at 154. Because I also heard 2 or 3 fight deal.
But see, in order to interest the fan base, wouldn't a winner be more of a commodity to move up to 154 and face the undisputed champion up there than a loser?
They would, but it's just that Spence and Charlo said they wouldn't fight. So, I mean, they're in the same state. We have the same trainer.
And what Mike Tyson tell him? What Mike Tyson tell him? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, who the hell? Like, Mike Tyson's a meme, bro. I don't even want to listen to that crap.
I'm just saying, Mike Tyson said, you should break bread with your brother. You know, I mean, like
he literally has a brother, so he said go fight him.
No. Mike was pretty much saying that Jamel Charlo should break bread with Errol Spence in a fight. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're supposed to do. Break bread with your brother.
Yeah,
and they was trying to talk about being from the same hood. And what does that got to do with anything? Y'all not from the same hood. You reside in the same area, but one of y'all from Lafayette and the other one from Long Island.
okay, so now you're on your birth stuff. I get you. Well, the dude said the guy said that they're not fighting each other. I'm not quite sure what we need to. That all three of them said that they're moving up. That's what I expect for them to do. Like whatever, like however anybody may feel about it. I don't think that fight is going to be after the Terrence Crawford fight.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be some changes made because Boots Ennis in the shoot for Mandy IBF, so it's gonna be very interesting. On the aftermath of all this, if I was, Crawford wins, definitely vacate and move up to 54. Just like he did at 40. He never defended the titles. He moved up to 47 in his first fight with Jeff Horn for a championship. If he's able to get that same treatment at 154, kudos, great. I'm all aboard.
What do you think of this? What do you think of the Danny fight at 154?
As much as I haven't talked about it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I feel like after seeing him take the beating from Errol Spence, that doesn't necessarily mean he's gonna move up to 54 and duplicate his performance with Spence at 147. But I do believe that Jose Benavidez doesn't get enough credit for how tough he is and how good of a boxer he is. You know what I'm saying? The man only has one loss. And he was that dude back then. Unfortunately for him, yeah, he was on the bad end of a barrel, but he's a bad dude. I mean, Jose Benavidez is a bad dude, man, and I think he's gonna have fun with Danny Garcia. He's gonna have fun with him at 54.
So you got Benavidez winning this fight.
Yeah, I have Benavidez beating DSG at 154. Absolutely. The man last fight was at middleweight, wasn't it? Jose Benavidez. So he came in at middleweight. He didn't look that good. He ended up getting the decision though. But him dropping down to 54 had more time to get that weight down and stuff like that. I think he's just gonna be too much for DSG. And look, it might even be a TKO stoppage from the ref. Real talk. Because you know what happened when them Benavidez brothers put their hands together. I'm just saying, I know DSG hasn't been stopped, okay? I know that. I just reiterated that the other night when somebody say Errol Spence has stopped DSG. I know he hasn't been stopped, but I'm just saying Benavidez is more acclimated to a higher weight class than Errol Spence. I mean, not Errol Spence, Danny Garcia.
Hey, all right. Yeah, I don't have Jose Benavidez beating Danny Garcia at all.
For real? Wow.
Yeah, he can be.
And it's amazing how he still has that funk. I mean, you adamant on that shit. That's crazy. DSG. You know what I'm saying? After the way he's performed and losing to the big names at 47, that he still has Wall Street at 54 against Jose Benavidez.
Yeah,
okay.
Just like you say Jose Benavidez like he's been a champion at any weight class.
All I'm looking at is the man has one loss. I'm not talking about championships. I'm talking about the ground level. I'm talking about the ruggedness. He only has one loss to Crawford. One loss, bro.
Yeah, I got you. It's also because he only fought one good guy in Crawford. Like Danny Garcia has several losses because he's been fighting several good guys. But not only that, he's a champion. Like Danny Garcia is way better than Jose Benavidez.
Please,
He's a bigger guy.
Let's not start ordering shots there, Smoke, and act like Danny Garcia was this world beater, and he was the vacant champion himself. He fought 3 times for the vacant chip, dog. 3 times, bro. 3 times.
Okay. And for that and 3 times he won that vacant chip and defended that title. So I'm not quite sure.
No, he didn't.
Benavidez has 0. I'm not quite sure. Like it's why you're denigrating Danny Garcia, you're exposing Jose Benavidez for not even having a vacant title.
No, so it's pretty much what I'm talking about. At 140, he fought for the vacant, and he was able to pick it up, right? So he goes up and fight his second fight at 47, and he wins the vacant WBC. When he stepped in there with Thurman scooped it, all right, and then he fought, Brandon Rios and all that, and then he stepped in there with Sean Porter for another vacant. He lost. I mean, he really hasn't did anything spectacular at welterweight. He never defeated a reigning defending champion. He never did. So that kind of puts him and Benavidez somewhat on the same level.
Yeah,
outside of Danny Garcia losing to the big names. He stepped in there with them, but he lost to the big names at welterweight. Only loss that Benavidez has that's a big name at welterweight is Crawford.
Correct. It's because the only time he fought for a belt was against Crawford. Like I don't understand what we're talking about here. Like Danny Garcia has been in like maybe 10 title fights.
But you keep saying how many title fights he's been in, but since he was in attendance, he didn't get the job done. So it's almost like him and Benavidez is in the same class.
They are in that if you make a general statement like that, but if one guy did it one time and another guy did it 10 times and didn't lose 10 times, then they're not in the same class.
That guy was, Danny Garcia is that guy who, fought for a vacant welterweight title and nothing else after that. Like he hasn't fought and won an active champion at welterweight. He hasn't did it. So I'm looking at Benavidez. Yeah, though he has very shallow depth of championship fights at welterweight, still it's almost like they're in the same class. It's just Danny Garcia has that championship at 140. He has the names to his credentials, but he's lost to the big names on that credential.
Let's just call it. I mean, it depends on what you mean by the loss to big names, because I feel like
he's been there with Thurman. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like Eric Morales. I feel like Amir Khan is a pretty big name.
Morales is who he fought for the belt because he was overweight. Eric Morales was overweight.
I feel like that's a big name. I feel like you're being a little bit disingenuous. What he did was he lost to the big names at 147. But those are the names that Jose Benavidez didn't fight. So I'm not quite sure how you got Jose Benavidez beating him, because he lost to guys that were better than everybody when they both like. So the difference in his losses and Jose Benavidez loss and Jose Benavidez's only title shot was he got stopped, right? Even though he was 10 feet taller than his fucking opponent, he got knocked out. He didn't see the down. Well, he didn't get knocked out, but he didn't see the final.
Dog, that's a bit exaggerated. 10 feet. Come on, dog.
And now, of course, is exaggerated. Neither guy is 10 feet.
And you want me to really send you flowers over Eric Morales?
No, bro. Like that was exaggerated for comedic effect.
Come on, Smoke.
No, man, come on, man. That was exaggerated for comedic effect. Don't step on my. Come on, don't let me have to explain my jokes. Makes it not funny. But anyway, what else? The point being, he's like a 6 foot something, 6 foot plus tall welterweight, right? He had that's the only time he's ever fought for a belt. Like they're just not in the same class. They're in the same class in the sense that when they had their biggest competition, they didn't win, but that was the biggest competition of their careers, right? Before that, they also had the biggest competition of their careers, and they did win, like against Amir Khan. That was the biggest competition of his career at that point. And Amir Khan is, he also fought Terrence Crawford. It's kind of like that dude fought Canelo. Like they're not on the same level at all. Like when it comes to like their level of competition and their accomplishments in the sport. Like Danny Garcia is a bubble Hall of Famer. He probably gets in on the third ballot kind of stuff.
Yeah, that, pretty much. I get where you're going with the Hall of Fame, but what I'm telling you is that for this fight at 54, they're somewhat in the same class when you talk about what Danny Garcia wasn't able to do at 47 and what Jose Benavidez hasn't been able to do, period, at 47 and, at 60 or whatever the case. It's almost like it hasn't been an incline for Danny Garcia except the attendance. His attendance, yes, he stepped in there with some pretty decent names at 47, but he lost. David Benavidez never provided the opportunity like that at 47, and then you take somebody who haven't had the opportunity by someone who has and failed, it's pretty even playing field in my opinion. Though you can factor in the experience. Danny Garcia has been in there with the experience. He ain't been stopped. Okay, that we can say that he's been in there with the Keith Thurmans, never been stopped. He's been there with the Sean Porter, never been stopped.
Those are all close fights too. Like the idea that he didn't get like I don't know, man. He didn't get it done at 147 against Thurman, Spence, and Porter. All of those, except the Spence fights, were close. Those are all real.
We'll see, man. Like, I like Danny Garcia. I'm not putting what's going on, Dion. How you feeling, bro? When it comes down to Danny Garcia, I just feel that he's unwilling to make changes in his camp. He hasn't really evolved with his skill set. The people who he was supposed to stop, he stopped them. He was supposed to stop Brandon Rios. He was supposed to stop Adrian Granados, even though Adrian Granados wasn't that type of fighter that he just goes out like that. But hey, that was a good matchup at the time for Danny Garcia. And then, him taking that beating from Spence, I thought he was better than that. He had the experience. That's why I'm telling you what I'm telling you about Jose. He had the Keith Thurman experience. He had the Sean Porter experience. Even though Errol Spence ain't fought Keith Thurman, he fought Errol Spence, man. Errol Spence went life and limb and did not come out that fight. I mean, Sean Porter went life and limb with Errol Spence and did not come out that fight looking like Danny Garcia. He did not come out that fight with Sean Porter looking like he did when he fought Errol Spence. He didn't. That's what's crazy about that. Like, how is he supposed to improve now? He ain't switched up the camp. He ain't did shit. But he came out of that Errol Spence fights looking ugly. Ugly for nuggly. Like, he took some punishment.
So did Porter, in my view. That Sebastian Formella fight was like, that's not like Porter's done. I thought Porter was done.
Man, I'm talking about.
I mean, not done as a fighter, not done as a fighter, but done as in being the guy that he was, that bully.
I thought he showed mad. Just took it easy on Sebastian Formella. To be honest, I didn't think he turned up on that fight at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I watched that thing and I'm like, he's like, that's what there was no that. Yeah, it was exactly. It was lackluster. It was uninspired. It was kind of like he didn't sit down on anything. He didn't try to. It just wasn't like, whatever. I never saw the same Sean Porter again.
I don't know, man.
But I will say that Sean Porter did. To me, he changed his style before the Spence fight, though. Too. He changed to me. The Sean Porter switched up at the Danny Garcia fight. To be honest, like that's when he started trying to fight on the outside. He started to do the same thing in the Ugas fight. That shit was ugly. He almost lost that.
He went back the way he used to be. You mean he went back because you look at the Julius what's his name Julio Diaz or whatever. He was pretty much fighting Diaz the way he did with Sean Porter. He was boxing, and trying to switch it up, but he just that grimy mentality that he got just to go in there and scrap it out. You know what I'm saying? He just committed to that shit. So when he fought Danny Garcia, he went back to the old way, and he looked pretty decent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he looked all right.
He went that same route, smoke with Bud Crawford.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to do it to Spence, but Spence kept stepping to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. Like he was still a good fighter. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I saw a different kind of guy. And anyway, even in the Spence fight, he was trying to fight from the outside. It's just like, Spence wouldn't let him.
It's gonna be good either way around, man. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? Those are not my two favorite fighters in no way, shape, or form, but I don't know. Danny Garcia took a lot of punishment, which I just felt that the experience and him being a two-way world champion and the resume that he has, is no way he should have left up out of there looking the way he did. Nah, I just don't see it. The same way you was bigging him up on the experience and the names he stepped in there with is the same analogy I'm using when he stepped in there and brought that experience against Spence, and we didn't see none of it.
Well, I don't know why you just don't credit. I don't think we didn't see any of it. I think we saw Errol Spence beat up a guy who was that guy. I don't know. Like, it sounds like you just
Absolutely not.
It sounds like you don't really credit Spence for that win.
We're talking about the Danny Garcia who's fighting Errol Spence off an accident.
Yeah.
The Danny Garcia who has a plethora of experience heading into that fight, and he goes in there and gets beat up. Now, what I want to do is rewind to any fight before that, any important, relevant fight before that at welterweight. Who beat him up like that?
Nobody's ever beat him up like that.
Because there's nobody that's in there that's Errol Spence. I'm saying, who beat Danny Garcia up like that? Sean Porter didn't even do that shit.
Yeah, nobody.
Keith Thurman didn't do it.
Yeah, but Sean Porter tried to fight him on the outside too. But Sean Porter does not throw the amount of punches as Errol Spence. He don't sit down on his punches like Errol Spence. Of course, he's not going to beat up Danny Garcia like Errol Spence. Neither is Keith Thurman. Like, none of those dudes have that work rate or that kind of attack. But Errol Spence is in the beat your ass business. He's in the break you down, bust you up business. Like, you get like what we just saw from Frank Martin. Like, that is the discount version of Errol Spence. You saw those clean shots to the sensitive parts of your body to break you down and like stop you. Like, that's what they teach over there.
So you're saying he broke down a guy in Jackson Martinez who took the fight on short notice in the final round? Got it, Smoke.
I'm just talking about. Listen, I'm not.
I get it.
I'm not even talking about the credit you should get. I'm not
you
even
wonder
talking
why
about
I be on Spence's neck, and you just give me all the ammo to do that.
No, the way that you are. I think your conclusion is different than what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the way they go about their business, not like whether or not you should give him credit for the Jackson Martinez fight.
I understand, and the way they go about the business. You're saying he broke down Jackson Martinez.
Yeah, their punch placement. Yes, their punch placement, their style of fight, the way that they actually go about beating their opponent is not like it is a painful process. The way they go about their business.
I think Crawford does it with less anesthesia. It seems like Frank Martin and Errol Spence, they want to continue to numb you up a little bit, but they can't really put you to sleep. Crawford gets straight to the point there, Smoke. He put you to sleep and send you about your way. And he might not knock you out on your back, but the referee knows that you pretty much nauseated and you semi-conscious. So they step in and say, "Hey, no, we can't do this. You get yourself hurt."
Yeah, no. Spence is like breaking bones. He's crushing you. Like, you may want to keep fighting, but you're getting beat up.
Oh, so Eudenis Ugas, because he had an eye that was built out of styrofoam, now he's breaking bones.
I mean, that's not the only bones he broke.
He fractured his orbital, right?
Yeah, it's not like it's only one guy that he's broke, right? I'm pretty sure he had a broken nose. It's talking about broken ribs. But anyway,
on record, it's saying that's the only fight that I've seen Ugas really being that it was that physical. That Eudenis Ugas been in that was that physical. Furthermore, it just felt like after the mouthpiece came out, he wasn't really willing to engage like that anymore. It's almost like he just froze up and just started taking punishment, and his eyes started just going to hell from there.
Well, I mean, yeah, I hear you,
breaking
bro.
bones. I don't know about that. That's far-fetched right there. Breaking bones.
No, I mean, I don't think it's really that far-fetched, but I mean, yeah.
Sean Porter didn't get no bones broken,
yeah,
and that was before the accident.
But Kell Brook did.
That was before the accident. We can't talk about Kell Brook, and that's so long ago. Just like you said earlier, right? We can't talk about Kell Brook. That was so long ago, bro.
Well, I mean, I just wanted to explain why I said plural. Bones, plural, right? Not just bone, one guy, but bones, plural. Since that's what he's doing.
We have to credit
So what that shows that he was doing it back then, and he's doing it still today. So it's still his powers hasn't gone anywhere.
I kind of disagree because we have to say Gennady was pretty much the one who was the instigator of the fractures. Even though Gennady was on the right side, I think some of those hairline fractures went across the bridge in the nose and they just settled over there on the left side. And when Spence started to just light it up a little bit, those fractures became evident. Real talk.
So I mean, you can think that all you want. I mean, it doesn't make Errol Spence any less of a bone breaker, but
I thought he was man down. I don't hear the bone shit. I mean,
I know you don't want to hear.
Jerry didn't get a bone broken.
No, I mean, when you break your eye socket, right, the orbital bone, that's a bone, right? I mean, it's the hint is in the.
I'm just saying, like, styles make fights.
Yeah, I know, but we're still talking about
Jerry's.
Like, I mean, I'm saying you
cooking pretty good with both eyes.
You objected to my correct and accurate description of him calling him a bone breaker, but I don't. It's not like the other guys he fought after Errol Spence broke his bones.
That's just funny, man. When I hear bone breaker, it just seems hilarious, man.
I mean,
now he went from the truth. He went from the truth, and then big fish, man down.
Because we're talking. All we're doing is talking about power. So since we were discussing the relative power of these guys, right? Like your Dennis Ugas was in the hospital for 40 days. That's what we're talking about when I say bone break. Like that's. Yeah,
everybody's bone structure.
As you said, Bud he's a lot more surgical with his, and the guys are able to walk out on their own recognizance. They don't have to go to the hospital. They're all good. They just lost the fight. But Errol Spence is, guys are looking different.
Okay, I mean, it's really not an argument for me because you're going to support who you support in Errol Spence, which is all good. But more so, I'm inclined to really just, think about what's on the horizon and to pretty much get some clarification. And what I believe, I just think Terrence Crawford is that much more dominant, and it's going to be a good fight. I think me, you, a whole lot of other people, I think we just sit up here and been on this stage for a long time and damn near went through every rehearsal period possible talking about this damn fight, dog.
Yeah, man. I mean, anticipation, and it's close. It's close. You can almost taste it.
I mean, it's crazy. I hope it lives up to every expectation. I hope it's not boring. I just hope both fighters make it there and it doesn't get called off for COVID and nothing like that. I hope this shit is everything. You know what I'm saying? No injuries, no pre-injuries, none of that shit. And there's gonna be some eyes swelled in this fight. Real talk. I believe it. It's gonna be some eyes on both sides of the. It's gonna be some swelling, man, because this is a long-awaited fight, and they both gonna be trying to prove something.
Because of the styles, because of the mentality, I don't think there's any way that it doesn't live up to the hype. The only way that the disappointment could, there'll be some disappointment if the fight doesn't happen, for sure. But I will be kind of disgusted and maybe even outraged if they try to give me Keith Thurman versus Spence next, or Josh Taylor and Bud.
Yeah, I would. Really, as much other combat sports that I have no problem just taking time away from boxing and watching. Like I just finished watching Who's Number One BJJ Championships, and I felt good. Just not even paying attention to YouTube and watching that shit. But if this fight doesn't happen, and like you just said, we get alternate names that has absolutely nothing to do with that fight. Yeah, I'm gonna take a longer hiatus, man. It's not that I'm giving up. I'm just, I'm just gonna take a longer hiatus from boxing. Look at some MMA, look at some BJJ, and just come back to it. Revisit it whenever I feel like it. What's going on, Tony Boswell? What's good? Now, what I was saying, officially, the announcement from Bernie the Boxer was said that the fight would be in November. So, he said he spoke to the champ, which is Crawford, and he put a confirmation out there. I dropped a link in the chat. It's further up though, but yeah, I dropped a link to his video, so it won't be anybody trying to hold me like I announced it. Bernie the Boxer announced that negotiations still ongoing, and also, he confirmed like the November time frame. And also, I spoke to somebody today at the promotion, and I'm not in liberty to discuss anything except what Bernie the Boxer spoke. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna leave it at that. But it should be interesting. But we're going on 3 hours, man. I'm about to bounce, Smoke. It's always a pleasure. Appreciate you pulling up, man. If you ain't already back there getting some of that good strand going, you might be up there rolling something. Let me go through some of this chat. What's going on, Dion? Then say Ryan beats Boots in 2 years. They say Ryan beats Boots in 2 years, but yet he's gonna have to catch Boots at 54. Boots is not staying at 47 that long. So unless Ryan is confused and he's gonna go to 40 and have a couple of fights, and then move to 47 and still haven't won a championship, because it's possible. Listen, what I'm telling you, it's possible that Ryan can get a chip at 40 because there's so many belts in boxing, and then he move up to 47. He better hurry up, because I think Boots is going to get a chip at 47 and he's going to take it to 54. And that's where he's going to be for a while. I'm just saying. That's a heavy ass division. I'm not saying he's going to go up there and become undisputed. I'm just saying they have enough names. If Charlo choose to, vacate the titles, they have enough names up there to make some good fights, especially championship fights. So we'll see how that happens. As far as Ryan fighting Boots, man, come on, that's hilarious, Dion. You should have cracked a smile and bit your lip when they said that shit. Like, come on, man. Mitch said I got Danny beating Benavidez. Of course, whatever. This what I know. See, my audience, they don't think I'll be collecting analytics, right? I know whatever fight that I support, King Mitch is gonna go on the opposite side. I know that, dog. I know he's gonna go on the opposite side. I got Ugas. I got Spence. You know that already. I got that. Well, I'm going for John. No, I'm going for Willie. Now you're saying that you think Danny will beat. Yeah, I mean, Danny got fans out here, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Danny's got squabbles. That what he's got is squabbles, man. That dude can fight. He can fight.
He can fight if he don't sit there and wait and get punched in the damn dome. If he fights, sometimes he waits too long and be a counter striker, man. We already know you got power, but man, come on, act like you got some cardio and fight, dog.
All right, so, do you got? I'm assuming you got Hakeem Rahman Jr. going to sleep.
I put it like this: if Hakeem Rahman goes to sleep against Jake Paul, I'm gonna call BS once again. Especially if he falls like Ben Askren and Tyron Woodley. If he falls face first on the canvas, bullshit, fake, fix, all that, dog. And don't say I didn't tell you. If Rothman goes down the same way Tyron Woodley, this shit is just like I said with Ben Askren and Tyron Woodley. If it goes the distance, they'll probably do a rematch. Because I said this on my live smoke. I said they're trying to find a way to build up Jake Paul's record for him to keep on winning and winning. They're not going to be able to do that with different opponents. So they're trying to find opponents that they can fight twice. You know what I'm saying? So if they can find an opponent that can go in there, go the distance, just like Tyrone did, it's easy. Tyrone with the distance with Jake Paul, easy. Come back in there, take the dive, boom, get knocked out. But I'm going for Hakeem Rothman to not do that, because he said, who would I be if I go in there and take a dive and basically dishonor my family's name and stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to take him at his word on that, real. He felt sincere. He sounded sincere, rather. He sounded sincere in what he said about not dishonoring the Rothman's name by taking a dive.
Who seemed to really be on his Muslim stuff too?
Who? Rothman?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I know his dad, man. When he was down here in the A not too long ago, that dude is every bit of 300 and freaking 60, 70 pounds or something. He's been in the weight room for real. Like dude is super big, man.
He's a nice guy. I like him a lot.
Yeah. He's been under that barbell for real. Like he's been in the weight room putting that work in. But shoot, I'm gonna call it a day, man. I'm gonna get up out of here.
That's
And
what's up, man. That was a
you
pleasure
know,
chopping up.
appreciate you, Smoke, pulling up once again as always, man.
All right, man. Peace. Have a great one.
Peace, man. Everybody else that pulled up to the panel trap, Sir Senior, appreciate y'all pulling up. Everybody in the chat, Tony Boswell, I'm seeing you in a minute, man. Hope it all is well, especially with your job and all that. I know, you always pulling up after work. Hopefully everything is great. You know what I'm saying? Dion, shout out to my guy Dion out of Alabama, man. You know what I'm saying? Sir Senior was on the panel, J Ocho, D-Ray Promotions. Shout out to Monica. Didn't get a chance to shout the queen out when she was on deck. Shelton pulled up. Shout out to Blood for pulling up once again. Blood boxing, retro boxing documentaries. You know what I'm saying? So, hey man, you know what it is. We'll definitely get back to this. As word come about. Remember what I said about Ryan Garcia and what he's trying to do. There's a method to the madness in what I was talking about. Just stay tuned. Just stay tuned. It'll all come to light, and then I'll talk about it a little bit more instead of dropping too much info. And then that's just not what I do. I just wait and then let it play out itself, and then I'm gonna talk about it. But stay close to Ryan Garcia situation in the upcoming weeks. Stay close to that. It's a reason why I'm telling you. Stay close to that because it's a reason for what I'm telling you. Also, stay close to the ATL. You know what I'm saying? Stay close to the ATL. Something about to go down. You remember when I've been telling y'all that, we haven't had nothing really pop off down in the ATL like we had in the last year and shit like that, with boxing. Remember I told you, ain't nobody put that out there, but stay close to the ATL. You know what I'm saying? Something about to pop off. Big news. But man, appreciate y'all. One love to everybody. Be safe out there, man. Continue to support the channel. Hit the like button, man. Just hit the like button. It's easy work. Hit the like button. Y'all continue to rock out, man. Make sure y'all check out retro boxing documentaries, man. He be over there, laying down that boxing knowledge and history. You know what I'm saying? Check out Sir Senior. It wasn't too many other channels on here, but you know what it is, man. Salute to y'all. Turn up and tune in the world.